Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. It's the info man that the lion did. 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 It's the info man. Yup, it's the lion did. Yup, you can't fuck with us. No, so stop trying to. Still, it's the info man. Yup, it's the lion did. Yup, you can't fuck with us. No, so stop trying to. Still heavyweight. So they try to infiltrate with hate. Not my liver off my plate. What we do, I take the bait. Don't hesitate. When it's time to do it to it, we still do they bullshit like our steering fluid. Wait a minute, lights then. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, lights then. Wait a minute. It's the info man that the lion did. It's the info man that the lion did. It's the info man that the lion did. It's the info man and the lion did. Raise your ass up, rise your slum, but this ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion on info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slum, but this ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion on info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slum, but this ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion on info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slum, but this ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion on info team. It's the info man and the lion did. 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 You're listening to It's the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the info show. It's the info. It's the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the info show. It's the info. It's the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the info show. It's the info. We got the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the info show. It's the info man. You can call him information info man. Kicking knowledge all over this nation. We ain't lose the draw. You can bring your hate team, but if you want to win, please don't bring your debate team. We talk to Japanese shogun, S6O mixing African doga. We got the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the man with the info show. It's the info man. You can call him information info man. Kicking knowledge all over this nation. We ain't lose the draw. You can bring your hate team, but if you want to win, please don't bring your debate team. We talk to Japanese shogun, S6O mixing African doga.
Okay, everybody, this is Information Man. I got my man Lions Den with me. I want to thank everybody that's in the chat room. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to do because we learned a little something from Erica Williams the other night. It was Wednesday night when we had the sister on with the business, motivation, and real estate. I want everybody to go ahead, as Lions Den is going to go ahead and name who's in the chat room that's with us. Thank you for being here. If you don't mind, we're going to have a little bit of chat room interaction. It actually manipulates the album rhythm. So everybody, if you can, let everybody know what state you're rocking from. Because tonight is going to be an Oaktown night. But let us know where you're from. If you're from California, you're from the East Coast, put it in the chat room. Also, let me know if you can hear us. If you can hear me, hit 1. Lions Den, brother, take it away. Let's introduce who's in the chat room so far. I'm sure there'll be more people coming in as the night goes on before I introduce our very special guest tonight. Go right ahead, brother.
All right, brother. We got Black in Japan in the building. Malik Omar, Sonya C, Zero Kelvin, J-Lo Rich, Sonya Brown, and of course AM1, India XOXO, Troy Allen, and that's all. That's all right now.
Let me give him a clap. Okay, I have to give you all a clap. Thank you for being here. I know there'll be more people coming in as the night goes on. I know that there's other folks like Brother George Makem that'll be coming in. He's doing a stream. There's some other streams going on tonight, and as those streams come to a conclusion, there's folks that will probably come on right on over. I wanted to say right now, we're live on everything tonight. We're on Facebook Live right now, broadcasting this tonight. And of course, we're on Speaker Live, speaking out to people that are listening, and speaker.com. That's the podcasting network that I use. We're also going to be porting this over to iTunes, and it also allows me to port this over to iHeartRadio, podcasting, Spotify, and a host of other Google Play. I'll be able to port this over to Google Play. So this information is going to get out all corners of the earth. And of course, we're on YouTube. So I want to thank everybody that is in the chat room. Again, it's people in YouTube, people in Speaker, Facebook, and all the other social medias and platforms that are out there that will be listening to the program tonight. I have a very special guest. This brother hails from a place that I find very dear in my heart. I'm from the Bay. I lived in the Bay Area for about 30 years, born in Baltimore, but raised a big majority of my life partially in the Bay Area. I go by the way of San Francisco area, the Fillmore, Hunters Point. Okay, you know, that kind of stuff. I've got friends out there, you know, Trail Hill. I go real back, 48-year-old man, so I go really way back with it. And then Oakland has a special place in my heart, because I lived in Oakland for about 10 years. Got a lot of friends from college in Oakland. A lot of them are probably listening tonight or will be listening. And Oakland has been a special place to me, very dearly. And so Oakland, California is, I would say, don't sleep on it. It's a great city. It's a beautiful city, beautiful Black people. We've had our ups and downs in the Bay Area, but you know what? Black people are doing incredible things, like my man AM1. Okay, Oakland is a shining light. It is a beautiful city. I'm gonna say it again. It's a shining light. It's a city of lights. It is a city of lights. We got my man. I'm gonna introduce him to you. He is a creative consultant. Brother does a little bit of everything. We're gonna have him break down tonight exactly what it is that he endeavors in, projects that he's working on currently, if he is willing to give us that exclusive information. What he's proud, things that he's proud of in his accomplishments. And I don't think, but this is the brother who's got a creative studio down in the heart of Oakland, in the Broadway downtown area, right next to a very famous building, and that is the Oakland Tribute. That is a famous building. He's right there. He does a lot of incredible things in his time there in Oakland. So with a clap to this brother, I want to introduce Brother AM1. And let me, boom, get you on the screen, and bam, here we go. Brother AM1, what's up, brother? We've been talking a little bit off and on. You wanted to get me on your platform, but tonight we got you here within your busy schedule. Say what's up to everybody out there. Give us a little love, brother. Oakland.
Y'all hear me okay? Oakland in the house. AM1. Peace to Information Man and Lions Den. Super duper. Yeah, I just wanted to get on with you either way, because I've been checking you out on O'Shea, like you said, and really like the information, just overall energy you're coming with, and just the media production work. That's always big to me. So seeing even just how you set up your shows and your content, really dope. Really dropping gems on a lot of these streams. So more than happy to be here with you and tapping in with your folks, your following. You know, I'm kind of new on the YouTube tip, Black YouTube, Manosphere, So, you know, just, you know, doing my thing, spreading the word on kind of what I'm doing out here in the town, Oakland, California, and really just trying to level up and build with the brothers. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Well, you know, Oakland is the Bay Area. If those of you in the chat room, if you've been to the Bay Area, if you've been to Oakland, you've been to San Francisco, well, yeah, Vallejo, Richmond, San Jose, any of these places in the Bay, press a 1 in the chat room. I mean, put in there where you've been. Put in the chat room where you have traveled to as far as the West Coast. I know a lot of folks have gone to LA, but there's nothing like the Bay Area. We have a different culture that's a lot unique, a lot different than what the culture you have in Southern Cal. Brother AM1, what do you think about that? Do you think there's a different culture between folks that live in Southern Cal versus folks that's in the Northern California Bay Area? You know, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, the Bay Area is interesting because it's super duper diverse, it's dynamic. It's an interesting kind of thing because you have the cuts like San Francisco. Obviously, as you know, you live there. Oakland, a little bit different, kind of different vibes. It's kind of like a Bay Area love kind of thing, but then at the same time, some points of like within the sphere of Black folks, hip hop related. You know, hip hop is kind of on the battle mentality. We do it live over here in the city. We do it live over here in the town. That kind of competitive spirit. Not too much on a negativity drastic level, but you know, that competitive spirit. But then of course we got San Jose, South Bay, all the different little cuts from Fremont to Hayward, Union City, Richmond. Obviously, folks know Richmond. Richmond gets it in. A lot of folks coming up out of the rich doing some things. Berkeley, you know.
Oh yeah,
really dope spirit out here. Yeah. You know, Cal Berkeley, the big college out there. So a lot of stuff comes out of the Bay, you know, tech, Silicon Valley, you know what that is. I mean, we on YouTube right now. YouTube is in Mountain View. Facebook, I believe, is based in, Facebook is definitely in the Silicon Valley area. So between, you know, the level of culture, tech out here, it's a lot of money out here, it's a lot of things going on. SoCal, kind of different vibe. Obviously, Hollywood, a lot of music coming up out of that area. Even, you know, San Diego, the dance scene, b-boy scene, a lot of flavor, a lot of dope culture. Groups like Internet, obviously, TDE, Kendrick. Relative to, you know, music culture, that's a big thing I'm about. Music, hip hop, just tying in that way. So the vibes kind of similar in a sense, but very much different. I feel like more creativity and sort of unique inspiration is coming out of the LA area. But don't sleep though. The Bay gets it in as well. Oakland in particular. A lot of folks over in San Francisco, you know, the dynamics are changing out there. It's just super duper gentrifying. I almost feel like the flavor of a particular area is exactly proportional to how many Black folks are there. That maybe is just more for Black folks. But where the Black folks is at is where the style and the culture is at, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure we all agree with that.
No, I agree with that. 100%.
Is it just me?
100%, brother. Let me see. Is it changing in terms of the demographics? Because the last report that I had a chance to look at some time back, they said that the Black population in Oakland has dipped to about down from 25%. Has dipped about 25%. Do you see a dip in the Black population in terms of? I heard you on one of your videos showing how they got the condominiums that they're building, the lofts or whatever. That's going to cost about what, $8,000 a month or something like that. And you're saying, who's got the money to pay for that? Because Oakland, for the most part, is a blue collar city. Am I wrong or am I right?
It was, but of course, that's part of the changing dynamics overall. You know, Silicon Valley, the tech money. I mean, if you want to get into sort of the political, geopolitical scale, the Agenda 2030, Agenda 21 concepts, trying to make it into like a mega city. What they're doing in San Francisco, they're making it into some like super high tech Crystal Palace, Crystal City, super high tech type situation. If you just look at the skyline now in San Francisco, the way it's changing, and the same thing is happening right here in Oakland. Yeah, like I was saying in that other video, like literally on my shop, 13th Street, Broadway, I'm right in the middle of downtown. Every direction you go in from here, there are skyscrapers going up. Some of them are business. A lot of them are luxury, high-rise type spots. So supposedly some of them were supposed to be more affordable. But then I'm hearing some people backtrack and say, nah, they're not doing the affordable ones. They're just getting it in, and it's going to be, yeah, 6,000, 8,000. I'm seeing some different numbers. Like, who is even affording that? I mean, there's a lot of money flowing around out here, but I mean, I've always been struggling. So I'm over here trying to make moves myself. I couldn't even fathom paying 6 G's a month for the rent of my, like, where I live. I mean, goddamn, most people ain't even home that much. That's crazy to think that much money going into that. You better off buying, I guess. I don't know. It's nuts. Yeah, the dynamics are changing definitely due to that. The tech money, the whole economic landscape of the country is kind of changing. I mean, where are the jobs going? A lot of things are being automated. The AI stuff is taking over. I was just talking about this with my dude earlier. The jobs are going away, but they're building up more and more of these dwellings. So I'm like, where are they expecting these people to come from? Is it because like the fires in Santa Rosa that's going to force more people to come this way? Meanwhile, the black folks, more people of color are moving away. Specifically, I'm seeing the numbers of black folks drop off big time. I forgot the stats. Somebody told me a number recently, and I was like, oh, God. I think San Francisco is down to like less than 2% or something.
Yeah, I lived in San Francisco for years, and I've seen it happen from the Fillmore area, the gentrification that was happening there. You see, ever since they built the ballpark, they started bringing the light rail, which goes into Hunters Point. Whenever they start bringing that kind of stuff, they're trying to get black. They're gonna try to get black folks out. So San Francisco has pretty much dwindled to the bare bones of their black population. It's really a shame. Now, you know what's happening? The area that I live in currently right now, a lot of black folks have moved closer to the Sacramento area because in California, folks, the Sacramento area, with being the capital of California, it's a lot cheaper to live here. You can get a lot more for your money. People were moving here to buy homes because what you could buy in the Bay Area for what you can get in the Sacramento area is like night and day. Here, you can get in the Bay Area, particularly like San Francisco, you're going to pay $1 million for what you can get from the area that I'm in. So it's very expensive, and it forces people to live further and further out into these suburbs. And then you have to deal with the commute, getting back and forth to work. As white people with influence and money want to move back into the city, move into areas that they felt were undesirable at one time when there were too many Negroes there. And you know how I'm using that. You know what I mean when I say what I'm saying right there, okay? Everybody in the chat room can attest to this in your own communities. If you can, let me know. Once again, where are you from? Are you having these same problems in the communities that you live in? So demographics are changing. Ideologies are changing. Brother, I go all the way back to Soul Beat.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Soul Beat.
Oh, yeah.
In Oakland.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Soul Beat, brother?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
tapped in. One of my guys out here used to have a show on Soul Beat way back in the day. My dude, Big Chuck. So that's interesting that you bring it up. Yeah, that's a flashback right there. I grew up with that.
Yeah, and once again, Soul Beat, you know, it had its pros and cons, but at the end of the day, black people, we gotta support our own social media. And I don't think that black folks supported Soul Beat as much as they should have or appreciated it when it was around. And when it was gone, now you have black folks in Oakland talking about where's Soul Beat, you know, in some cases.
No, absolutely true. And that whole statement you just made opens up a whole other can of worms because, yeah, speaking to the idea of what, I mean, even just going back to this gentrification thing, a lot of folks out here in the town are really saying, you know, love for Oakland, love for the Bay, love, 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 love. But not really digging in and supporting the things that are going to be staple black offerings. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people talking about gentrification, but then a lot of people are just tapped in with mainstream media and playing the game with those head fakes and not really putting it together. I'm like, mainstream media, like that's my theory is this, and I know that I'm probably jumping the gun, but
that's all right.
How the gentrification ties into helping along gentrification and the whole WS system. I don't know if you want to get into that phrasing in the WS system. Because I know this is broadcasting on a lot of different things, and I don't want to drop too many bombs that might be too hot topic. I don't know.
I always like talking in code, and I think most of the people in the chat room understand what you're saying. Use those type of statements. So, brother, do your thing, and then Lions Den, at some point, brother, I want you to chime in, ask the brother any kind of curious questions you have to this discussion, because Lions Den is in Nashville right now, but the brother's from Washington, D.C., Maryland area. And he can tell us a lot about some of the nonsense that's going on in D.C. As it relates to how Black people are being impacted. And maybe he can tell us positive things in terms of Black people in business and what they're doing out there. So go on what you're saying, though, brother. I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's all good, because I talk about this shit every damn day. Yeah, no, the whole idea of, Black folks jumping up and down, talking about a lot of different issues that we're facing, but then to turn around and say they, their favorite rapper, this and this, and what's Black. Perfect example, Black Panther. Everybody is all in a Black feelings and Black pride and all that, but I'm like, but is it Black owned? Marvel, DC. I mean, not to rain on everybody's parade, but I mean, we can't have it both ways. We can't be mad about Trump. We can't be mad about Kanye or anything that's happening in the mainstream landscape, but then be turning around and not truly dialing in and supporting Black owned whatever, or being willing to disconnect from things that are not fully Black owned. Because that's one of the main drawbacks is Black folks don't understand economics, which ultimately equates to money, which equates to resources. So I'm even just dialing it back and using, instead of the WS system, I'm using a phrase like resource supremacy, just to really even take the race thing out of it and make it be about who's intelligent and seeking resources. And none of that is ever going to happen as long as you're tapped into the media, aka communication lines of some people that may very well be your enemy. History has demonstrated that for the most part, the government and governmental agencies function as an enemy to Black folks. I mean, that's how it all started, right? It never stopped. So it's silly to think that there is this mainstream media complex government infrastructure, and for whatever reason, they're actually trying to do things positive for Black folks. Come on, why would you think that? I say that to say, people say, the white man is on my neck, the white man is doing this, they keeping us out of employment opportunities, they gentrifying, they trying to run us up out of here. Yeah. But then at the same time, I absolutely gotta go tap in with Cardi B or whatever new hot mainstream artist or rapper. When it comes to entertainment, Black folks cannot comprehend the idea that this is all part of a system that's keeping you dumbed down and stupid and ultimately not seeking resources. Right. You can't have it both ways. You're being entertained to death and distracted. It's all distractions. Let me keep you locked in to all of these offerings that are fluff and basically bullshit. Meanwhile, our people are securing more and more resources and passing more and more laws that further allow us to take away your rights, your freedoms. And this is across the spectrum. This ain't even just about Black folks at this point, but we're going to bear the brunt of it that much more because we have less collective resources. Claude Anderson, the first time I heard the phrase and really wrapped my mind around it, being locked into a permanent underclass, like a caste system, India caste system, like the people that are just, you're born into only ever being at the bottom. They're trying to lock it in to where the melanated folks, whether from Africa or indigenous to this land, however you want to slice it, they want to keep the melanated folks at the bottom and use us as a treasure trove of liquid money. I heard somebody describe a story that he had with I think a Jewish man, and he called Black folks liquid money because our money doesn't circulate right. They talk about buying power, trying to even use a head fake phrase like that. There's no buying power in economics. If you're just spending all your money, you're only importing, you're not exporting anything. So you can't have any kind of GDP, just to use it on that level, like a nation within a nation. Okay. It's crazy, man. The media game, we'll touch more on the media thing, but that's just to set it off with that, the whole media situation, you can't possibly think we're going to get out of any predicament if we're allowing ourselves to be entertained and be told what's popular or worth our attention by the very people who you're claiming are holding you down. How do you have it both ways? Help me understand that, people.
Wow. Lions Den, brother, go ahead and we got some more people that have come into the chat room. Give them a little bit of love, brother, and ask any questions that you need to ask of the brother. Any curious questions? We're going to touch on these topics. We're going to touch on, you have a very unique, we had a conversation, brother, me and you, about the Kanye West situation. So you got some unique views on that. I got some interesting views. We're gonna touch on some of these topics, hot button topics, and I want to get your perspective. Brother Lyons, then do the honors, brother. Let's give a little love to folks in the chat room.
Okay, I'm gonna give a shout out to India XOXO, Troy Allen, J-Lo Rich, Life Machine Power, Six Figure Days, Max Evans, CRU Royalty, Black in Japan, Caramelized Sugar, Gab Talk Media, Filthy Frank, and Marlo's Corner, Mr. Redskin 562, DMV Representing, Patient is a Virtue, Bobby Bowman, Khalid Hassan, T. Kelly, Henry M, Super Trees, and of course
Super Trees. Hey, Super Trees, let me do something for you. Thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate the support. Here you go. Yes. Woo! Yes. Go on and continue, my brother. Lions Den.
All right, my brother. A quick question, AM1. You was talking about hip hop, and I know there's been, a lot of generations that doing this hip hop thing. We already know New York got their own hip hop things up there. We already know Chicago got theirs. We got DMV where I'm supposed surrounding that got Go-Go. What is Oakland? What is hip hop going on in Oakland? What's the lifestyle of hip hop going on over there?
Lions, and that's a question from yourself or somebody in the chat? Just curious.
It's my question.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thing because lifelong big time hip hop dude, grew up with, from way back Too Short to Coog Nut to Hammer, Oaktown 357, all of that, you know what I mean? To Andre Nicotina, all of these names I could run down, E40 to Click, all of that. So I've really been tapped in with all of that growing up my whole life, as well as all the stuff coming up out of New York. I have an older brother and an even older cousin than him. Early 80s, they had me in the game. I was hip hop out, loved it, grew up with it. And then even in the early 90s, I started rapping myself. Mid 90s, I'm making beats, putting together my own stuff. My little rinky dink attempt at, putting out songs. But I was definitely big on the lyricism and, writing and understanding that culture and that art form. Again, always being a big art and design type of dude, but also writing and just that creative writing spirit. So I say all that to say my approach on it is understanding the Bay Area music, the Mac coming out of here, Black exploitation, the pimp game, Too Short. A lot of what's come up out of the Bay has been sort of relegated and pigeonholed into more mob block, less than positive type of elements. And of course, hip hop is, out of the Bronx, rugged street shit, sort of like a better way to go at battling people by way of, MC and DJ and the B-boy dance, the elements versus actual fighting. So, that's the story of hip hop. So I get it. Hip hop should have some grimy street elements, but the Bay Area has been, for the most part, known for just the same type of criminalism, thuggery, pimp game, hustler game, essentially shit that's not elevating our people. And unfortunately, I have to see it through that lens because I care about my people and I understand it's more than just entertainment. Culture actually dictates a lot of people's mentalities and lifestyles, and ultimately the mentality as it pertains to seeking resources. If you can normalize criminality, that's going to create a whole group of people that aren't looking towards building resources and who are going to get gentrified out of here. Fast forward 2018, 2019 coming up soon. That's what we're seeing. But to be more specific, a lot of people refer to Oakland, the Bay Area, the hyphy sound, mob block type sounds, more gangsterish, thuggish type shit. I don't like that idea. I don't like the idea of any type of association from any region of hip hop culturally being relegated to just criminalism, because hip hop has the capacity and has had more of a golden age where it was more across the board, across the spectrum. There's people coming up out of the Bay doing some real classic hip hop shit where it can have a little bit of street element, but some more conscious, not on some we're all super conscious kumbaya shit, but just on some I'm conscious in street smart and aware of my environment and the larger environment of the world, meaning I'm not just focused on what's happening right out here on the block because I'm out here 24 hours a day. Meanwhile, there's a whole world around me that's caving in on me. Really conscious music and thought process is saying, I'm looking at what's happening on my block, and I'm looking at the world on a larger scope, larger scale, and seeing how that impacts me here also. Okay. Interesting dynamic. It's a matter of bandwidth, but basically, I don't like a lot of the same shit that the Bay is being relegated to and pigeonholed into. I don't support that at all. All of my efforts are designed to say, hey, here's the vibes and sounds coming up out of the Bay that you won't find or hear about if you only tap into the easy route or tap into non-Black owned mainstream media, which is why I'm a big media dude. We'll get into that more too. Sorry to be long-winded on that, but I just really want to preface it properly so you understand. Because a lot of people are quick to call me a hater. Oh, you ain't supporting the same hyphy movement. Oh, you a hater. I'm like, we can do better than that. Because we've had like Hieroglyphics crew. We've had like, oh my God, I want to say Freestyle Fellowship. We've had some different people that really were looking to elevate the game and innovate on lyricism and creativity as opposed to giving you the same street story over and over and over.
But remember, see, I go all the way back because see, I used to do breakdancing and strutting and pop locking and all that kind of stuff back in the early 80s, 83, 84. And the brother that was the famous pop locker, I got a brother that I've been talking to, Art, if you out there, brother Art, has a connection to this brother. I'm going to get him on the show and highlight some of his history because this brother is history. But let me say this. I remember, do you remember, what was the name that he went by? He was the brother that was out of Oakland that was singing positive rap music, conscious Black rap music. What is that? Brother Parrish?
Paris.
Yeah, I go back to Parrish and see, just all this stuff that people are talking about, it ain't nothing new. Parrish told us back in the day that the music industry was trying to suppress rap that was more on a conscious tip. And nobody wanted to listen. He was talking about this stuff, okay? When everybody was getting into MC Hammer and and parachute pants,
No, absolutely. Shout out to Gorilla Funk and OG Paris, absolutely.
And don't get me wrong, this is no shade against MC Hammer. I respect the brother. He was doing his thing at the time he did it, and then when things went hard for him, he found out who his real friends were. Okay. So no disrespect to MC Hammer, all respect to him. But what I'm saying is we've always had positive rappers coming out of the Bay Area scene, but they sort of got, pushed to the side because the agenda was to push this negative type of music to program, like you say, mass media, to program our minds, to orchestrate an ideology in our minds of destruction. Let me give some love to brother Richard Victor Dix, my brother from the BAIO. Got to give you some kudos, brother, for the super chat. I got to give you some respect for the super chat. Also, my man AM1, who's on here interviewing. Thank you too, brother, for the super chat. Oakland, California is a no city like. So, brother, let's get back to where we were. Let me ask you some questions now. Let's get into it. Let's open this up now. Let's get into it. Let everybody know before we get into the sort of gossip part of our program tonight. Let everybody know exactly what it is that you do in your business, where they can find you, all the good stuff. What is it that you're doing? What are your accomplishments? Just give it to us, brother.
Man, so again, AM1, my brand, all street looks. It's kind of a dual branded situation. It's all street looks, all goods and services. And specifically, I do it that way is because I want to engender and instill a spirit of Black entrepreneurship and independent business grind, which the Bay Area has a lot of that, but I want to make a brand that's specifically aiming folks at that energy and really activating that even more. And I do clothing, streetwear, hip hop, just different branding concepts. It's one of them, Style and Power. That's a nod to my b-boy life freestyle dance game. That's something that's real big with me. I came up with that. I support that. I've done dance battles, dance jams. About to do actually another one. I haven't done a hip hop dance battle type event in a while. That's coming back up. But it's really just Black media. It's Black American music, hip hop. I'm a big hip hop dude. All pretty much American Black music forms. It's expanded. I grew up with all the funk, the soul, the jazz, and really just understanding the level of creativity and charisma that came up from my people. So all goods and services, all street looks. I've been doing the streetwear for years. Like I said before, I used to rap myself, make beats. And since I was an illustrator and graphic designer, let me take it back. Lifelong illustrator, got into graphic design once I got my hands on some computers and computer programs in the late 90s. So like 98, 99, 2000, really get my hands on like Illustrator and Photoshop back when it was Macromedia before Adobe even got in the mix with it. Learning that, like, oh God, I can take stuff I've drawn and be able to set it up for print, color separation, all that. Learning that while at the same time, parallel to that, I'm rapping, I'm making rapping, making beats. So I tapped in with some guys to do some showcases. At that time, I lived up in Fairfield. So information man, obviously you know that. So
Fairfield,
I actually live up that way. And would come back, because I'm originally from Oakland, born in Oakland, lived all around the Bay. Came back out this way, was doing a lot of shows, and the guys was like, oh, so you do graphic design too? Can you do our flyers, our posters? So I'm really rocking with these dudes. They had like a weekly event that was going on. I'm rocking shows with them, doing the flyers and posters for them. And I'm meeting a lot of different artists, networking, because I'm going heavy with it. I'm just, you know, hip hop dude. I'm trying to hop on stages, hop on mics, get shows, grind it out. Hey, check out what I'm doing. Here's my message, you know, doing some positive shit in the midst of everybody, you know, a lot of people trying to do, you know, the thuggery shit and keep that going. I'm like, no, we need the real core culture, the lyricism, be saying something, mean something, something meaningful. Let's use this for real. So the progression with that is me being a graphic designer, doing shows, networking. I hit up the guys and was like, hey, you know what? Let me curate one of these weeks, since they had, you know, a month, they had weekly. So they have four spots a month. I was like, let me take one of these weeks and curate it. So then I get into promoting and curating shows, and I'm doing my whole themes and concepts. So I'm designing the flyers and the promotion for it. I'm booking the talent. Some of the showcases I performed at, expanded it from the hip hop stuff they were doing. Shout out to my dude, True Justice, LCJ. That's who guys really put me in the game. They're still active out here. They're on tour right now. Slap Frost tour. They're out there with Casual from Hieroglyphics. Shouts out to my dude, Vocab Slick. I think Unlearn the World might be out there with them. A lot of my folks I rock with here in the Bay, like legitimately, that I saw within the past couple of weeks. I think Zion I might be out on that tour, maybe. Shout out to my dude Zion I, Casual. Just coming up within those realms myself, immersing myself in that and really saying, okay, we really want to hit this from all sides. So I'm tapped in with the illustration, the design of streetwear, the music production, getting into the R&B soul type showcases, tapped in with a homie of mine who was doing comedy. So we're doing comedy shows. I was dabbling with a little bit of video editing myself since I was already a graphic designer. Mind you, this is on the timeline. We're about at 2008. I'm throwing events. I'm curating more things, working regular punk ass day jobs, you know, grinding it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you guys a run through because it's a lot. So doing kind of fell back off of me rapping and making beats. This is 2010, went back more to the illustration, the graphic design, the streetwear tip. So the things are kind of bobbing and weaving. I'm kind of going through some different things. Then 2014 hit an interesting tipping point because I hadn't did any events in a while. I'm doing the clothing line. I did it under the banner All Attractive because I was doing my graphic design under that banner. Your design will be attractive to all. And plus it was a nod to sort of like Vedic spiritualists like Krishna, the all attractive, the all creative, the all knowing. Some of the folks don't know that, but just a little backstory on that. But I really like that all phrasing, hence all street looks, all goods and services, all brand. 2014, Era Art Bar and Lounge, downtown Oakland, kicked off a day party series called Attraction. And one of my good homies came through and filmed like a recap video for it. Another good homie came and shot some photos for it. And we kind of changed the game because there wasn't too many people doing day parties at that point. We did this day party series starting in March 2014, that era. It went crazy. People loved it. Had a live showcase from Kev Choice, one of Oakland's big dudes. He's MC, piano player, composer, did something with the Oakland Symphony, like big shit. Fools doing, you know, real dope moves. So I'll say all that to say, once I started tying it all together with the way I could capture this media content by way of video media, photography, doing the events, tying in the streetwear, I was like, hold on, I'm onto something here. Parallel to that, I'm really soaking up a lot of game on Black media, entrepreneurship, and I'm like peeling back the curtains on media and its impact on people, especially Black folks. And I'm realizing, wait a minute, I'm in the middle of a very interesting opportunity here. If I can tie all these things together and create a way to sort of encapsulate and deliver all of this in a stream with some continuity to it, that'll be dope. Fast forward 2018, change the branding around from all attractive to all street looks. So what we're doing is this: Black owned and controlled urban media based out of Oakland, California, all street looks. So urban, Black, soul, hip hop, really tying it all together. All is the brand. Street, we're showing you the street looks, the real dope urban freshness, from dance to rap to singing to production to whatever, tying in with film festivals, tying in with poetry, open mics, obviously the day party scene, doing recaps with that, different artists as they come out here, really understanding what I have my hands on here and how multifaceted it is. But ultimately it's all media forms, it's all communication, it's all encapsulating our soul, our culture, and really understanding the power play. And I said, you know what, I want to brand this all, put it all together. All Street Looks becomes the delivery system for it. It's counter to mainstream media that would hijack our culture, our offerings, elevate the lowest frequency bullshit, and try to tell us that's the culture for the culture. And if you understand where I'm going with that, these people are going to tell you the hood shit, the raggedy trap ratchet shit is black, black, black. And they're programming our young minds to believe it's true. So here I am, 40 years old, trying to really dig in on this. Aside from that, I'm a freelance graphic designer, creative consultant. So I work with, you know, aside from my all Street Looks branding, doing independent freelance design, animation, videography, graphic design, consulting, creative consulting overall. So it's kind of two different businesses I'm building at the same time. On the All Street Look side, again, doing the events, doing the media stream. Now we got the shop, All Studios, 13th Street in Oakland. So now we got the base of operations, the headquarters. I'm building a nice team. It's attracting some really dope people that are solid. I'm in such a blessed and bliss type situation right now. As much as I want to go hard for my people, for Black folks, it's such a struggle really tapping in with people, trying to be consistent. But some really key people are falling in place right now. Everything's happening a lot faster than I expected. It's beautiful, man. All Street Looks, truly Black owned media. I think that's the future. They talk about the $1 trillion buying power. If we can funnel that back in on ourselves by way of this kind of media content stream, disconnect from their shit, what they're telling us, that's the toxic shit. It's poison. It's mental poison. It's mind control. I'm trying to basically reprogram, deprogram, and reverse engineer, mind control my people back to saying, let's really drip that Black soulfulness. Let's really embody that. And let's own it and control it. Let's commoditize that. You know what I mean? Like don't let these folks tell you. Don't let Lear Cohen tell you Young Thug is the hot new shit. And then he's going to put dresses on and have the same grill and the locks and the same trendy look that a lot of these young dudes just happen to be tapping into. And I say it that way with sarcasm because it's mind control. Come on.
Exactly.
Let me stop being so long-winded. Go ahead.
No. I think that you saying you're putting everything in its perspective. I believe you're telling the truth. You're telling it just as it is. There's no need to try to clean it up in any kind of way. Lions Den, let me go right ahead. Everybody, you heard what this brother had to say. I think if you like what the brother is saying so far, let us know in the chat room. If you have any questions, we're going to field questions before we start getting into other areas. But I want everybody to check out this brother's channel, support him. do your best to check him out, because this brother is
everybody out there. You're listening to AM1, creative consultant, straight out of the town, baby. Oaktown, the Bay Area, all street looks. Make sure, come on now, make sure you subscribe to his channel, support the brother, because this is town business. AM1, creative consultant.
Now, brother, let me get into a hot button issue with you. I've heard you on your channel talking about Kanye. We're gonna touch on a few issues that are hot buttons for you and everyone out there listening. Let's talk about Kanye West for just a moment. In terms of, we had a discussion, and I sort of was saying to you, brother, and I believe you agreed with me. And before I get into that, Lions Den, let me be respectful to you, brother. Lions, do you have any questions you want to ask the brother before I go ahead with this area that we're going to go into? Because we're going to talk about Kanye West right now for a quick minute. Lions Den. Anyway, he's not there. I don't know where he is, but let me move on, brother. In terms of Kanye West, I kind of see him as what he is. He's an entertainer. And we know that entertainers like to do everything that they can to sell their albums, sell books, sell movies, marketing. You know, you being someone that's involved in creative consulting, you know how important marketing is. Marketing a product, putting it out there, getting some buzz on it. So I almost feel like we know his music is not what it was before. And a lot of these celebrities, when they start to fall from grace, we've seen this, folks, they begin to try to reinvent themselves, try to create a buzz for themselves. And I almost feel like Kanye West, although what he said was the truth in terms of when it comes to incarceration, Black incarceration, and some of the issues that have impacted us as a people in this country historically, he was absolutely correct on those areas. But the problem I have is that, one, we have a culture, for whatever reason, in which we have so many of these entertainers talking for the Black community or representing themselves as the narrative of the Black community. And I personally am always worried of entertainers who want to somehow put themselves out there as being spokespersons for us, because there's always a double-edged sword that they could be self-serving themselves in some way or another. Now, I don't look at Kanye West in the way I would look at a Malcolm X, a Muhammad Ali, or a Harry Belafonte, Black people who have had skin in the game when it comes to struggling and fighting for what's right for Black people, or even a James Baldwin. Whatever, you know, we've had figures in our history who were poets, actors. One of the brothers that is very dear to me is Paul Robeson. Okay, Paul Robeson. He was a Renaissance man. He was an actor or poet, a great speaker, but he stood for something, and he had skin in the game. So when we have Kanye West speaking on these issues, I always wonder: is he trying? We said this. Is he trying to set himself up for his next career? Is he trying to get in good with Donald Trump to somehow transition himself into something else to maintain relevancy? Because we also have had him running around talking about he's running for president. And so is him cozying up to Donald Trump a byproduct of him trying to transition himself out of music into something else and staying relevant in pop culture in another way? by reinventing himself in politics, possibly. And I just have to say this, brother. Kanye West, to me, when I put my psychology lens on him, he has never been the same since his mother died. Ever since his mother died of some unauthorized or unnecessary surgery to her breast, Kanye West started acting buck wild. He never was the same. He started having the drinking issues, getting on stage, snatching trophies out of people's hands. He always was sort of an arrogant guy, you know, arrogant and confident about himself. But right now, while we say, oh, go Kanye, you're making great points, you're speaking for us, while we're kind of cheering him on, this is the same Negro who right after he went to Donald Trump and spoke, he went over to Apple computer store somewhere in DC, just randomly went into a store, jumped up on the tables and started spousing out a bunch of random stuff about Donald Trump and blah, 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 just out of nowhere. To me, that, I don't care what anybody says, that reeks of being an attention whore. That reeks of saying, look at me, world, I'm important. See, I know I can go into this store and I can gather attention. And my question is, if nothing comes of Kanye West meeting with Donald Trump, if nothing comes of it, okay, if there's no intangibles, then he just had a meeting with Donald Trump and that's it. It goes back to what Malcolm X says. I'm not, you know, he talks about, you know, I'm not going to have coffee with you. I'm not going to have a little drink with you and let myself be watered down because I like to keep my coffee black. I don't want any cream in it. And I feel like Kanye West, a lot of these conservatives think that what he's doing is great, right? And I said to you, brother, I know I'm being long-winded here. I said to you when we talked that if Kanye, I'm just gonna bust it out, and this is how I feel about it. A lot of conservatives, like my man ABL, when O'Shea had his program, and he had a lot of conservatives on there speaking upon this. If Kanye West was a Democrat, a staunch Democrat, and spoke what we call a quote unquote liberal plantation ideology, and had said the same things that he said, at the same time saying, I don't like Donald Trump. I don't trust him. He's despicable, right? I bet you any kind of money, a lot of these black conservatives, along with people like conservatives like ABL, and many of those that were on the panel that were conservative on O'Shea's program, I bet you the narrative that they would have had would have been very different of Kanye West. They probably would have said, Kanye West, you're whining again. That's the problem with black folks. You're always whining, talking about what you don't have. You need to get out there and work, pull your bootstraps up. The Clarence Thomas, pull your bootstraps up, right? The Clarence Thomas who got affirmative action, and once he got it, he wanted to slam the door on everybody else. So I think it's hypocrisy, because I think that the only reason why they're riding with Kanye is because Kanye is riding with their main man, Donald Trump, and he's donning that ugly red hat. And so because he wears the red hat and all that kind of antics, now you have all these black conservatives cheering him on. But at the same time, you have black men out here, black activists who are not celebrities, who have been saying the same damn things, and you will have black conservatives that will say to them, oh, you're whining again. Oh, you're affirmative action. You want to suck on the social programs. You don't want to pick yourself up from your own bootstraps. Do you understand the hypocrisy of what I'm talking about, brother? Go right ahead. I was long-winded there, but I had to say those words.
No, man, like you hit a couple of different corners right there. And let me try to unpack part of the first one. I mean, it's pure gems. I mean, the whole idea, the tribalism concept, I mean, we got to understand. It's all controlled opposition, Hegelian dialectic. I want to present to you, I want you to think a certain way. And I don't want you to think outside of the scope of how I want to engineer you to think. So what I'm going to do is present to you two different options that are both of my orientation, of my agenda, but making them appear opposing to each other. And then if I can rile you guys up enough to fall into either side, cool, I got you either way. You see what I'm saying? Controlled opposition. So it's a head fake. So really, liberal versus conservative, if we're Black Americans and we're talking about Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, and I understand the terminologies and they have some different meanings across different, you know, spectrum. Bottom line is this: if you're trying to be opposite government, ultimately being head fake, because you should undoing and uprooting the foundation of this as we know it, because it's never been for our benefit. That's end of discussion. So if you're saying I'm for Trump, or even I'm for Obama, or I'm for any president, we know it's all a charade. So how are we playing along with it at all? To the point where it's ego shit. You're basing your pride and your ego of, I feel good saying I'm a conservative because these liberals are doing yada, yada, yada. The liberals are doing a bunch of bullshit. The conservatives are doing a bunch of bullshit, because ultimately this governmental structure is being propped up and ran by old white money that was all legacy money built on the backs of slave labor. So stop it. First off, just to even, this is me. So it's like, you got to step back. I'm a big media dude. I understand how this impacts people's minds. It's propaganda. We got to step back and look at it from the overarching propaganda perspective, or none of it will make sense. And then you'll start picking sides and making decisions. They want you to pick a side, because as long as you're picking a side, you're playing their game, and that game is going to keep playing you. Black people, Black man, Black woman. You can say I'm against Trump, I'm for Trump, I was for Hillary. I'm like, it's all two wings on the same damn bird. Stop it. Left wing, right wing, it's all bullshit. It's just crazy, man. So within the realms of Black people being so tied into entertainment, generational poverty, the idea of lesser education across the board, meaning the impacts of media and mainstream glamour impacts us collectively that much more, because we're more prone to living vicariously through famous people, hence a Kanye West. So you can take this guy, done some big music stuff, did some real big collabs, definitely a dope producer, a cool rapper. I mean, I grew up with rap shit. I fuck with shit that was way light years ahead of what Kanye was doing. I was never a big Kanye fan or a big Jay-Z fan. I always been more of an underground hip hop dude. And I know Kanye came up kind of underground shit, but I'm like, there was shit blowing that all away. So I'm like, I was never on the big hype. Kanye with Adidas, the Yeezys. Ask me how many pairs of Yeezys I have. None. I understand what he did, kind of changed the game with the format of shoes, but I've never been I'm gonna spend over $100 on some damn shoes that's meant to protect your feet. I forgot his name, but brother from Poor Righteous Teacher said that like way deep ago. He was like, dudes are killing each other over Jordans, but the shoe is meant to protect your foot. I was like, wow, when you put it that way, that's just ridiculous. But I say all that to say, this dude, pop icon or whatever, he should not even be speaking to a president. That's fake. That's, again, controlled opposition. We're going to take you people who are collectively impoverished and use this person that you may want to live vicariously through, send him over to talk to Trump. Is going to trigger you in some kind of way. But for some of the people that want to be rebels against the larger population, the so-called conservatives, we're going to want to go along with Kanye. It's all just that much more divide and conquer, obfuscation. It's military strategy they're using. It's psychological warfare. It's a fucking psyop. The whole concept of it is propaganda. So what I'm saying is this: it's a psyop inside of propaganda, inside of a psyop, inside of propaganda. So it's levels up. And the only way you're going to see it is you got to stand back and think. First and foremost, the U.S. government has never been for Black people. Why would we think they are now? So once you understand that, the whole Kanye argument is just ridiculous. So even if this government really was the republic, or based on a republic like they claim it is, it would still be ridiculous for any entertainer to be the leader or so-called propped up leader for Black folks, because that's just stupid. Why wouldn't it be somebody more business minded, more political minded? Like I said on that stream with O'Shea, I was like, I'd rather see Claude Anderson go talk to Trump. If anything, somebody with some real knowledge and understanding of economics and wealth building. But of course, they won't do that because that'll hit more people to the game of somebody like a Claude Anderson or a Boyce Watkins or somebody who can talk real power moves based on money, economics, all of this stuff that's going on. Let's free somebody from prison. Okay, cool. But I'm not seeing any collective wealth towards Black folks. They're talking about the buying power or the spending power, or whatever, trillions of dollars. If Kanye is not talking about funneling that money back to us, and what is the government going to do to do that? Or if you're a famous person who's, and of course this won't ever happen, a famous person who was made famous by way of non-Black owned mainstream media, if you can see that as an overarching complex, because there's only what, 5 or 6 companies that basically control all of it, and they're all in bed together. No mistake about that. So once we understand that foundational standpoint, you see that it's all basically some suits in a room saying, this is what we're going to do. Here's what's going to be hot. Here's what's going to fly. Here's the kind of narratives we're going to dictate. We're going to put more mixed swirling couples in our media because we want to socially engineer people. We have to understand all this. Mind control, psychological operations. Look up these phrases and really incorporate that into your day-to-day thinking. So when you're watching any type of media, whether it be TV, online, understand, think about what the person who created this content, what are they saying to me? What are they not saying to me? What are they saying in a roundabout way? Double speak. Look up those kind of words, Orwellian type concepts. I mean, this stuff is deep, man. Like it's mind control. But of course, if it's just we wilding out and I was just with Trump, let me go just nigga shit, wild shit, keeping people stupid, or Nicki Minaj, I'm sucking dicks and I'm in a menage a trois on my cover, or Cardi B, these are bloody shoes, red bottom shit. Oh, thotty chicks can rise to power and fame overnight. They got Black folks' number and they just sitting back, chuckling, laughing like, wow. Trillions of dollars of money, liquid cash, and all we got to do is keep these people entertained. We can tell them who their stars are, Migos. We can tell them what their culture is. We can tell them who their leaders are. What, D-Ray McKesson, what is the dude's name? Was one of the Black Lives Matter dudes. That people talked about Black Lives Matter potentially being funded or partially funded by George Soros. Who he who pays the piper calls the tune. Come on, people. We gotta understand this. If I wanted to control and manipulate Black folks and keep us pinned down, all I would do is exactly what we're seeing in mainstream media. I would do exactly what they're doing to get that result. And guess what? We're seeing the result and we see what they're doing. We got to dial it back from all of this shit. It's all bullshit. So the idea of these guys, you know, so-called conservatives on YouTube or whatever, backing Kanye because they're backing their dude, they're all dick riders essentially along those lines. And enough respect to my dudes that I, you know, converse with here on YouTube that, you know, say they're for Trump or whatever. But grand scheme of things, and I'll say this to anybody on a stream or to their face, like, bruh, really? You're really backing this dude? Like, how are you really backing this dude? If you're not talking about tearing down the whole structure, I don't even know what you're talking about. You're not having a real discussion. Now, what that new structure will be or what it should be, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that with a room full of prominent Black folks on a higher educated level, and then on a level of somebody like myself. No college, no none of that, all self-taught. I'm basically a street dude. I'm just not into criminality. Same grind, same hustle as these D-boys out here on the block, but I'm just doing legal shit and shit that I can actually empower my people. That's all it is. I'm a straight town dude.
Let me, brother, let me go right ahead and let me go right ahead. Oakland, California is the city of lights, folks. Let me read you something real quick. I'm going to be doing a video. I'm going to be doing a breakdown of this 25-point plan. I'm just going to give you guys a little taste of it. Okay, this is what's going on in our society. Now, let me just tell you this. If Kanye West meeting with Donald Trump creates a system in which they allow brothers to get out of prison who are wrongfully in prison, if it creates reform that make changes that benefit people, particularly Black people, I will be the first to give him his kudos. But my problem is that it seems that we got so excited about him meeting with Trump as if he had already accomplished something, when there are many Black brothers and sisters in the community who don't have his celebrity, have been saying this stuff for a long time, and they have been marginalized completely. Their narrative. We've got rappers, like I said, from Oakland, California, Parrish, who was talking the same stuff way before we even knew who Kanye West was. And nobody was listening to Brother Parrish. Okay, so dismiss me with the Kanye West. Oh, he's doing something great. There were rappers in the underground movement in rap, and I go way back. I'm not a millennial. I've been around for a minute. There were rappers way before Kanye West who had already been saying these things. Okay, and nobody was listening to them. But all of a sudden, we got Kanye West, who has a clothing line. We got black people coming down hard on the whole swirling thing, right? And we got black folks that have come down pretty hard on Brother Phil for his wife being Mexican, right? But yet Kanye West is not married to a black woman. And yet we're ready to ride with him. We're telling people that Phil of the Abai show shouldn't be telling black people about how to empower ourselves. He should not be bringing up black issues because he's not married to a black woman. Yet we're riding behind Kanye West and saying that he may be doing something good. We got to sit back and really analyze it and look at it and say, wait a minute, Kanye West may be a genius. He may be on to something here. But yet I don't hear anybody saying, wait a minute, Kanye West shouldn't speak for black folks. He's not even married to a black woman, okay? He's not even committed to a black woman. He's got himself involved with a woman, and you always judge a man by the woman on his arm, because the woman that's on your arm represents your politics. It says who you are in many ways. He's got a woman on his arm that everybody and their mama has been with. She's been a dot for a long time. So he made a choice to marry a dot female, and now we want to take his consulting, his expertise, or his knowledge base to meet with one Donald Trump, who we know is a racist. And I'm not saying, folks, that people like Dr. Martin Luther King and many other black leaders did not meet with racist individuals. We know that was the case. But guess what? Dr. Martin Luther King, Shirley Chisholm, Ida B. Wells, and Paul Robeson, just to name a few people that come to my mind right now, and Malcolm X, they had, when they did meet and talk to white folks, guess what? They had more credibility than Kanye West has. You know why? Because they had skin in the game. Because you know why? Malcolm X was being bugged by the FBI, CIA. Dr. King was being bugged. Ain't nobody bugging. I'm gonna tell it like it is. Ain't nobody bugging Kanye West. Ain't nobody got him under surveillance. You know why? Because Kanye West is playing into the 25-point plan. Let me read this here. Use the press for propaganda to control all outlets of public information while remaining in the shadows, clear of blame. So Kanye West, in a lot of ways, being an entertainer, he's being used by the media when he gets into his jumping on tables, going into random stores like Apple, jumping on tables, talking about he want to talk to Trump, talking about he gonna run for president, talking about he loved Trump, getting up on Saturday Night Live, causing all that commotion with his mouth. All that is propaganda, and the media is using him as a puppet of propaganda. Now, I know that you got white folks that don't like what the brother's been saying, and I got to give a shout out to my sister, Nyla Says That, because she did a great stream where she said that whenever you have white people that are now cracking down on black celebrities that speak about black issues, you got to look at that. You got to take notice and say, wait a minute, white folks don't like him now. What is that? What is that saying? Is that saying that he's saying things that are resonating? Could be, but I wouldn't put Kanye West in the shoes of any of our black leaders who had true. And I'm not saying that Nyla saying that. I'm just simply saying that she did make great points on her stream about this issue around Kanye West, that maybe Kanye West could be hitting on something. And like I said, I so hope that he does make something happen. But I do know at the same time that the mass media likes to use us as puppets and tools for their bigger agenda. Let me read something else to you. Use mob psychology to control the masses. Without absolute controlling of the masses, one cannot rule efficiently. So Kanye West is a celebrity who does what? He has influence on the masses. If you manipulate him like a puppet, make him think that he's in control, then you can control the masses through using this celebrity. And if you know anything about history, celebrities have always been used to manipulate the masses. All you got to do is look at one, what do they call him? The king of rock. What do they call him? Elvis Presley. Do you know that Elvis Presley was working with the CIA? Oh, yes. They were using Elvis Presley because he had influence on what? Young people. Do your research, folks. So that's why I'm always worried of these celebrities, because you don't know what agenda is that they're in bed with, what agenda is happening behind the scenes. So keep that in mind. Let me read something else to folks that's absolutely important here. Let me see. This one's very important. So I said, use my, okay, this one is important. You got rap music. AM1 talked about rap music and how ratchet is getting. This is what they do. When you have people like Kanye West, who has influence on our community, on our children, and you got this ratchet rap music where you got guys singing about drink syrup, get high, drink prescription, take prescription medication, Percocet, get high. This was in a 25-point plan, and this document was created in the 1700s. Check this out. Advocate the use of alcohol, liquor, drugs, moral corruption, and all forms of vices used systematically to control the youth. And like I said, there's been a lot of celebrities that were undercover agents, baby. So that's what I got to say. That's what I'm putting down. This is Oakland, baby. Oakland, California. There's no cities like Oakland. Now that was my rant, my Bay Area rant right now. Brothers, Lions Den, tell me what you got to say about the things that I had to say. And brother AM1, let me know how you feel about what I had to say. If it resonated, Lions Den, say something, brother. And we're going to get back to AM1 and get his opinions on my rant. Lions Den. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Must be something going on with his connection. Lions Den, are you there? Okay. AM1. Unmute yourself, brother.
Man, I mean,
I was on a rant. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call that a rant, because I mean, to say that as a rant implies that it was like some type of wild, uncontrolled, unfactual, unfounded statements, and everything you said was exactly the opposite of that. Everything you said was very concise, clear. They mapped it all out. Everything that I just broke down is that. I mean, I've researched this. I'm sure I've come across that particular piece that you were just going off right there. What you said, one of those documents was from what, 17 something?
Basically, I have a document that I'm going to do a video on, a mysterious video that I'm going to do on it. And it's, you heard of the Rothschilds and the PJ Morgans and all these very rich families that go all the way back to the 1700s, 1500s. They devised a plan on how they can control the masses. And by controlling the masses, you can control the world. And the way you control the masses is you introduce drugs. Remember the CIA back in the 60s, they introduced what? A psychedelic drug. We know it as LSD. They used it because they found out that it had truth serum effects to it. That if you put someone under LSD, they would tell you the truth. They would speak their truthful mind. And so the CIA would use this when they were doing interrogations on people and waterboarding and all of that. And LSD was introduced on the college campuses during a time when everybody was saying, let's get high and let's drop out of school. It was the CIA, this government, that introduced these drugs into the college population, which caused this whole hippie culture of drop out, get high, take acid. Now you can research this. Don't take my word for it, but that's where I'm coming from, brother.
No, and I know, and I've looked into all of those, all of that information right there. It's all pure gems. Like, that's the beauty of a lot of this stuff right here, is that it's out there to be found. I mean, dude, we have the internet, supercomputer in your hand. This thing right here, if you're connected to Wi-Fi, There is absolutely no excuse. And I would again submit the bombardment of the ratchetness, the ignorant shit. I want ignorant, turn up fun, live vicariously through famous people, be turned up. Don't go use this thing or crack open a book and find out what they're doing. Just be a tool and a puppet and basically a sucker, soaking it all up. Don't tell me that you on some street game level shit or you ain't the type to get game ran on you when the whole system is running game on you. Come on, black folks, street niggas, like, come on, please. Stop it. I'll be this old square ass light skinned dude. I'm like, look, they running game on you. I don't know what part of the game that is. I'm an Oakland dude. You know what I mean? Like, we can talk about street game shit, cool, but I'm not about doing some shit that's gonna get me locked up because I like my freedom. And from my understanding, jail ain't got no women in it. Okay, so there's that. But that's a whole other discussion because truthfully, we don't even need to be chasing pussy and all that. That ain't getting you nowhere either. The coupling up, hugging up shit, man, that's a trap too. It's all a trap. General Akbar, it's a trap.
I can tell my experience in the prison industrial complex system. You don't want to go to prison because you're just going to be around a bunch of smelly dudes, and you don't want that, folks. So don't even go there. Hey, let me give a love out to some folks in the chat room. Lions Den, are you there? I think, as O'Shea would say, the white man has gotten Lions Den tonight. Snatched him right off the show. All we got to show for it is his avatar right now. If you are out there, Lions Den, come on back, brother. Come on back. We got Real Aaron Collins. We got Hill. We got Mr. Redskin 562. We got Richard Victor, my brother from the BAIO, in the house with us. George Makem. Goddamn, George Makem, you're here, brother. You're here. Maybe I should bring him on. This is AM1's program, but maybe I should bring George on. Let us put AM1. Continue spitting some gems, man. I might bring George on to the panel, but you need to continue spitting some knowledge, brother, because I'm really enjoying you tonight. I'm really enjoying this tonight.
Oh, no, man. I mean, this is legit all day, every day. Everything that I'm doing. People are like, when do you have fun? When do you have fun? I'm like, I'm playing a real live video game here. I'm having a blast. I'm living a living, walking, talking hip hop dude, a town dude, a true activist, a true warrior, a true Black Panther. Whether that was a CIA front or not, I'm really repping that, building for the community, trying to feed my people, trying to build, and definitely trying to insulate myself from the fuckery of what's going on here. I mean, you were reading documentation from J.P. Morgan, Rothschild, Rockefellers, Carnegies, these type of families, and the people, I would even say probably behind them, above them, that they're serving. These people are trying, they're not fucking around. These people are locking down geopolitical, population domination, New World Order type shit. Somebody in a chat said Boule, Black folks, secret society type shit. If you're not understanding the potentiality of secret societies being used to manipulate the situation, I would even go as far as to say Kanye being tapped in with that. People talk about initiations, his mom, that shady circumstances there, the Kardashians shit, all this shit with these famous people tapping in with this family, all the craziness with them, the Jenner stuff. I mean, if you really peep game, it does appear that there is some type of high-level black magic, witchcraft, domination, high-level crazy ancient Egyptian, Babylonian mystery school type stuff going on. It seems like conspiracy theory type stuff. I mean, they made a Bell Illuminati Taco Bell commercial. It's almost like they want to put it in your face, but then they also want to try to shut it down and make it seem like, that's just not real. You see what they're doing? Like, we got to really look into these things. Anything that calls itself a secret society where you got to go initiate yourself, and these people have actual wealth and power, like, you really got to peep game on that. And maybe certain people that we know are part of these organizations and think it's all good. Maybe they know what it's about. Any situation like that, the potentiality of them, that's what I would do. If I wanted to control populations, let's make a secret society. Let's make certain fraternal organizations. And when you join up, we're going to make life a lot easier for you as long as you're down with us. And if you give up our secrets and you're not down with us, then you're gonna burn, you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like your life is gonna collapse in on you. We're gonna mind control you. We're gonna you know, we're gonna tear you apart. You're not gonna work. You'll never work in this town again. You know, or we're gonna kill you. Or they talk about Hollywood, pedophilia shit, human sacrifice, child trafficking. Like it gets real interesting. You see where I'm going with this type of stuff? I'm trying to, if that's where this is going, if we extrapolate that out, the current trends and this type of information, it does appear to be going that route. They talk about the idea of the dollar, world reserve currency. If that is taken away, look into that. If that collapses, the rise of China, these different trade wars. I mean, this hat on my head right now was built in China. Yeah. You see where this stuff is going. It's real interesting geopolitical type stuff. Like, man, black folks here turning up, having fun. We about to be looking extra stupid, real dusty, real raggedy. This gentrification shit is just the tip of the iceberg. If what I think is happening is truly happening, man, we got way bigger fish to fry than swirling the interracial dating shit. Who's dating who? I need love. Where's my boo? I need to cuddle up. I'm trying to get out here and fucking chase some pussy. I need a man in my life. Ego stroke, ego bullshit. It's crazy, man.
I would just say right now that it's great to party and have a good time. It's a good thing when you can, but you got to ask yourself, with all the things that black people that we really need to be working on, can we really afford to be spending a lot of time partying when we don't really have anything to party about, when we have so many things we need to be accomplishing and improving in ourselves personally and in our community, our families, and then our communities and things of that nature. Can you go ahead? Can you tell us, Brother AM1, what is your philosophy on what black people could do? If you're being a business owner, what is it that black people can do to improve themselves? I mean, whether it be creating your own black business, because I have to be honest with you, brother. Erica Williams was fantastic the other night, and she brought to my attention the article about 2.5 million black men are moving into the upper, not middle class, upper middle class. So therefore, this narrative that black men are just street thugs, that black men are all in jail, black men are all messed up this and that and that. No, there are black men out here that are doing the damn thing, that are going to school, and even if they're not going to school, they're doing like you, they're becoming entrepreneurs, okay? You don't have to go to school to learn how to be an entrepreneur. You can read books, you can go on YouTube and get little pointers from people, but you can create your own business. Certainly, brother, you are an example of a black man who has created his own business, who's made a way when there probably was not a way for you at one point in time. What would be the words that you would have to people listening out here when it comes to this negativity about black men not being this and black men not being that, when you have black men that are achieving 2.5 million moving into the upper middle class? A brother as yourself is trying to, you know, you're moving and you got your dream going, you got your business, you're trying to be you're not trying to be, you are a mover and shaker. Okay, brother's got things to do tomorrow, can't keep him up too late tonight because he's got a project to do tomorrow. But give me your thoughts, brother.
First of all, and I appreciate everything you just said there, and I'll be the first to say this. I got a lot of different things going on, and that's a double-edged sword because it spreads me so thin. Again, it's hard to build a team. Everybody in the Bay is out here hungry, trying to do their thing. It's a lot of crabs in a barrel stepping on necks, black folks tearing each other down. I do some of my best work with folks from not in the Bay. But I say all that to say, with all that I have going on, I ain't doing enough. I'm just scratching the surface on what I could be doing and how much I could be building and expanding my efforts. Hence why I'm really trying to push more media. Okay. Now,
go ahead. I'm going to ask you another question.
Okay. Let me holler at that. The 2.5 million, is that what it was?
If you go on, it's a website about family studies. I'm going to send this information to you. I'm going to see if I can find it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to tap it up because I had the article, but then I accidentally deleted it. I'm going to pull this article up on my computer. I'm going to put it into the chat room. But it was Erica Williams who sent the material out, and I think Asinian got his hands on this material. And I think he did a live stream about this. that yes, black men moving into the upper middle class, it's a high number. I'm going to find this article. I'm going to put it in the chat room so that everybody can look at this. I was going to do, I'll plan to do it. I might do a video about this, but go right ahead, brother. That is what the latest news. This is latest news. This is not just something that came out a couple of years ago. This is latest data. And on this article, it breaks the data down with the pie charts, the graphs, the whole 9 yard. So, oh yes. Let me see if I can pull this up. That's what I'm going to do.
I heard about that, and I haven't looked into it yet because just my bandwidth, I'm busy as shit. But my first thought, and this should be everybody's first thought, black folks watching this live and on the replay, your first thought of anything you hear like that, that's coming down from any type of mainstream media outlet, whatever it is, if it's not black owned, even if it is, first things first, if it's being presented along any type of mainstream media lines, which is pretty much damn near anything, first, always think mainstream media is not your friend, especially if you're black. So first of all, let me really think that through. So as I'm ingesting this information, always keep it in the back of my mind. He who pays the piper calls the tune. Who funded this research? Where did it come from? Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. Could it be used against us?
Here we go, brother. I pulled it up on my. It's back on my screen. It's the IFS Institution for Family Studies. It says here, this was of July. This came out in July 23rd of 2018. This year, 2.5 million black men are in the upper class. Says here, the racial news in America has been sobering in recent years. Okay, so this article kind of goes on. Here's the graph. It shares. So you know what I'm going to do? Damn it. I wish I could share. I'm going to try to see if I can share this on my screen so everybody can see this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate my other computer here. Just bear with me. Brother Am, if anything else you want to go right. Lions Den, are you there? Are you there, brother?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, brother. Lions Den, while I go and pull this up onto my other computer so I can share it on this screen up here. You've been listening to us talk. What are your thoughts, brother?
Well, this is really interesting that we have a person that's been, in my opinion, was working hard to get his. I mean, this is really amazing info to get his product out. Let's put it like that. And I felt that this is really, really enjoyable for this young man to, tell us his story, to bring the product out, and to, explain what he does, and this guy is amazing. And that's so interesting about the story info.
Right on, brother. I'm going to try to find this article. Let me just do this for a minute. Brother Am, brother, it's your show, brother. Go ahead. Spit some more, get some more knowledge to us while I find this article. So I want to put it on the screen and everybody see it, let you see it, and pull it up and down so you can see this data that's on here. So go right ahead while I search this out real quick.
Let me say this though. If it is true that 2.5 million black men are moving into upper middle class, I would love to believe that that's true. So believe me, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but we need to verify and confirm this is true. Even if that is the case, I would still submit that if we're not owning and controlling our own comparable black-owned media, none of that's going to matter at some point if that information is true. Because no matter what, communication lines, delivery systems have to be us, no matter what. Okay. And
let me go ahead and share. I'm going to share it on my screen while you're talking. Go right ahead.
And let me peel back another layer to this whole thing too. Someone in the chat, Sonia, I believe, gathering, Sonia's a woman. She said not with black women though, and that's a very interesting thing. So that lends over into things that if you guys go follow me, you'll see my thoughts on dating, interracial dating, all that. I'm on a level that's pretty hardcore. It's why I'm saying 80% of your time, period, should be about you trying to level up your life, and maybe 20% on something leisurely. I would even say with the state of black folks overall, it should be 90-10. 90% you trying to grind and level the fuck up if you care about your future and you care about the trajectory of black folks, or just yourself, period. So you need to be trying to step your game up because there ain't no time to play. If you don't have any legacy, wealth, and resources being handed down to you, and you just working for some people, some corporation that's most likely white owned, you better figure that shit out, because you're standing on a rug that might get yanked from under you, especially if it's a company that has a potentiality of having systems automated, AI, these type of things. Jobs are going away. You better figure out how to make your own way, all hard, all hustle style. Like you heard it. The rug is going to get yanked from under you. But to my point is this: 2.5 million black men moving into upper middle class. If that is true, Sonia says not with black women though. Irrelevant. The whole dating situation, coupling situation, black love, all that, totally irrelevant, because I can't, just to pose this idea to you guys into the chat room right now. If black people, for the most part, do not have a legacy, wealth, and resources since slavery, I think Dr. Claude Anderson said we came out of slavery owning less than 1/2 of 1% of the nation's wealth. And here we are, 2018, and it's basically the number is still there. If that's the case, that coupled with the fact that mainstream media is owned by corporations that are not black owned, and we see how mainstream media culture is ultimately socially conditioning all of America and the world, not just black folks. Those two things in and of themselves create a situation to where procreating and focusing on dating and family is a detriment. It's actually going to set us back more than it's going to help anything, because if you're in a position of ultimately struggling, if your heartstrings are being tugged at, society has instilled in you this wantingness to have a family and grow in this way, but not having the actual resources to sustain it, what you're doing is actually hurting your situation. You're breeding struggle. There's no way around it. I don't care about all the love. It is not a loving act to bring a life into this world when you don't even have or barely have resources to sustain yourself. How is that a loving act? So to Sonia's point, not with black women though, that is entirely irrelevant, because black folks right now could all couple up, super duper boo up, have all 2.5 kids, 5 kids, 10 kids. Black people could fuck ourselves into being the majority in the next 5 years. They said 40, 50 million black folks. What if it was 400 million and we overtook and was the majority? If we don't have legacy wealth in resources and infrastructure, and if we're not controlling our own media, mainstream media being mind control, education, communication lines, if we don't control those two things in our own way, we could be the majority, but we're still going to be collectively dusty and not owning shit. Stop it. So if you're putting these emotional, biological urge type ego stroke things ahead of what is it going to take to actually build, you may actually be a part of the problem. It's just facts. Like, come on, we got to take all the emotion shit out of it. Sister Soldier said, we are at war in 1989. Here we are almost 30 years out, and we still collectively dusty, raggedy, this coupling shit, the love. I need love. Before I can really care about building for my people, I need to know that some man loves me, or I need to be sticking my dick in a whole bunch of pussy. Dudes out here running around doing a lot of raggedy shit. Got a bunch of babies out here, but still walking down the street, sagging their pants. When you working, dude, what you doing? Man, I'm just doing my thing. I'm in the studio, I'm rapping. That shit, where's the good black men at? Where's the good black men who just want to boo up with you and sit on your couch and do black love, but not actually be doing shit? Stop it. That's not getting us nowhere. Get serious, people.
Let me just say something right there. I brought the article up. It was a sister that brought the article to our attention, Erica Williams, who was on the other night. What's up, Brother Malik? Thanks for sending me the piece in the chat room. Everybody that's coming in the chat room, thank you for being here. Chief Holiday, thank you for being here. Lions, I'm gonna have you share some love in the chat room in just a moment. Let me just say this. I just looked at it and said, you know what? 2.5 million black men moving into the upper middle class. To me, if that is true, and I did put the article on the screen and with the source of where it came from, and you can look it up for yourself, folks. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it in the chat room. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. Let me just say this. I understand Sonia saying, well, they're not with black women. First of all, we don't know who they're with. Let's just be honest. 2.5 million black men. That's a hell of a lot of black men. And we don't know. Some of them could be with white women. Some of them could be married with black women. Some of them can have a family. Now, we do know statistically that black men do marry black women more than anybody else. So a lot of times when we get into this whole thing about, we know that there's a whole question about, well, that black women are not getting married. But when black women are getting married, the majority of the time it is a black man that is marrying them. They're not getting married just by themselves. Okay. So in this society, we do have a majority of black women that are married to black men because black men are making commitments, have made commitments to black women. We got to get away from the stereotypes. Yeah, we got brothers out there who get with white women. That's happening. It is what it is, and it's happening. But let's give respect for brothers that are with black women, that are doing the damn thing, that are working, that are committed. I would say out of that number, if that number is true, there's probably a good number of brothers in that number that are married to black women. And there's also brothers that are bachelors or single, brothers that are dating, and there may be brothers in that group that are dating interracially. Okay, my thing is that I can't control what another person does in their bedroom and who they do it with, even if I don't agree with what they're doing or who they do it with. Brother, I'm just trying to control and maintain what I got to do, who I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? I can't juggle what everybody else is doing, but I understand why sisters feel that way, because they do see quite a few successful black men, especially like your athletes, who end up with women who are not of their own race. And they see it as, and I said it on the old Shade channel, they see it as we're giving all our success to white women or other women of color or other women of races. And that's a whole other can of worms. I don't want to go too deep into that tonight because that would take us into another area. And I'm just going to keep thinking logical, brother. I'm going to be with the person that makes me happy. I like black women. I'm dating a black woman. But like I said on the O'Shea channel, I'm dating a black woman who's fairer skinned. You saw Rashida come on the channel. She jumped all on me talking about, you shouldn't be dating a black woman. And then we find out that she's dating a light-skinned black man after getting a divorce from a darker-skinned black man. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. You can't point the finger at me as a black man and jump on me with the whole colorism issue and say I should be checking for darker-skinned sisters when I just said in the beginning of that program that I date dark-skinned sisters, I date brown-skinned sisters, and I've dated light-skinned sisters before. I like all black women, and I usually look for personality, who I like, who I gel with. If they happen to be darker skinned, brown skin, or light, so be it. But I like black women. So she jumped on me and I said, wait a minute, you didn't listen to all that I said. So how can you jump on me and start saying what I should be and shaming me because I don't happen to be dating a darker skinned black woman as if I've never dated darker skinned black women before. It's just totally ridiculous. Okay. So she said that. And I kind of got on her a little bit. And I did tell her at the end of the show, sister, keep up your activism. Keep doing what you're doing. But you notice how things got very emotional when SUBSCRIBE 75 said to her, who are you dating right now? What's your skin tone? And come to find out, she's dating a lighter skinned black man. Yet she keeps talking about there's a prejudice against darker skinned people, which there is. I've seen it. It's real. But I kind of feel like if you're going to call yourself a colorist activist or a dark-skinned activist, I feel like just the way we would hold black men to task if they're dating a white woman, just the way everybody on YouTube held Phil of the Avice show to task about being with a Mexican woman and then talking black. Well, if you're going to talk black and talk about dark-skinned black people being discriminated with, then shouldn't the person that you're dating in terms of a man, shouldn't he be dark-skinned? Shouldn't he have your same skin tone? If you're talking about that you're an activist for dark-skinned people, and then you're going to turn around and shame me and say, hey, you should be dating a darker-skinned black woman as if I've never have. And it's funny. I get a kick out of this because it's funny to me when younger people, these millennials, will get on YouTube and try to point a finger at an old motherfucker like me who's been around for a minute, who's dated different shades of the black diaspora. That's what I call it. Oh, by the way, let me keep it real with you too. I've even dated straight sisters from Africa. I dated a sister that was Nigerian back in the day. I've dated sisters from Kenya. I've dated straight up African. So if you really want to talk about, if you really want to talk about dating black, then if you really want to get blackity black, then we should be dating the sisters from Africa. Because most of us in America that call ourselves black, we're mixed with all type of shit. Because the slave master was all up in those quarters messing around with the butane. You understand what I'm saying, brother?
Am I muted?
No, you're not muted, brother. I said a mouthful again.
No. I just want to make sure because I typically mute when I'm on people's live stream. No, dude, everything you said, straight up gems. The whole Rashida thing completely made herself look stupid. To find out she's with a lighter skinned dude. I mean, none of that matters because my whole answer to the colorism thing, the interracial dating thing is this. Paraphrasing Claude Anderson, after slavery, less than 1/2% of the wealth. 2018, less than 1/2% of the wealth. That's my answer to colorism and to interracial dating. You see what I'm saying? Like, none of that fucking matters if we're all poor and struggling and don't have fucking agency over our own position here. Well, that's all emotional sidebar issue shit because bottom line, all of those things are pertaining to coupling. The true purpose of coupling would be to essentially clone yourself out with another person so you can build your already existing wealth and empire to expand it. And you're bringing a new life or new lives into your empire to further build your empire, but it's already sustaining them. If you don't already have it, you're breeding struggle. So again, black folks shouldn't even be worried about coupling up, procreating more than we should be worried about undoing this disparity in wealth. That's it. Like anything else is ridiculous. So me, I could say I'm a light-skinned dude. A lot of my own people have tried. So am I supposed to make my whole channel be devoted to trying to big up light-skinned black men? That's fucking stupid when there's way bigger fish to fry. That would be ridiculous. Anybody doing that, sidebar issues. You just want views. You want to get fame. Chrissy, Cynthia G, Beta Male Swirler, every video, taking every possible opportunity to put a video out that's low-key bashing black men. Some of the things she's saying is true, but of course you got to add some truth into it so you can slip in your own emotional opinions that aren't necessarily founded in reality, but mixing it in with some truths. We know black men are doing a lot of raggedy shit. We know black women are doing a lot of raggedy shit. But when a lot of your arguments hinge on things like who's dating who, well, I pretty much just shot to shit the whole issue with who's dating who, because subsequent to that, who would be procreating? Oh, wait, black people are pretty much collectively struggling. So why would we be procreating anyway? So then we backtrack it to why are we so focused on coupling? Then we backtrack that to individually, what are you doing to make yourself an asset and a resource to yourself and for your people? That's the only way we're videos, backdating, all that, but it's not productive unless we're making ourselves into resources that aggregate more resources. That's game over every argument.
I just think that black people, when you want black love and you want black relationships, I think that when you find the right woman, the right sister, you cling to her, you connect with her. If you have interest in mind, if you have similarities in mind, and build something. Are we going to have brothers and sisters that are going to swirl, whatever you want to call it? Yeah, they're going to do it. And even if I don't agree with it, it don't mean that it's going to stop happening. Like I said, I can only control what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with. And if I control that and build the future, and this is the thing, when I was married for almost 15 years, my wife and I, we didn't try to raise a family too early on because we wanted to build ourselves up. I took the time to get to know my wife prior to marrying her. We took our time. We lived in Oakland for some time near the lake, right off of Lee Street, right near the lake area. I could walk literally 3 blocks down. Missed that area, by the way. But we took our time, brother. We built together. You know, we're not together now, but we didn't even have a bad breakup because she was intelligent. And I met her in college at the time. And I took the time as a man to really look at the intelligence of the woman that I wanted to be with. A lot of times you got brothers who get with women that are very ratchet, right? You have the video out right now on YouTube that's on TMZ where you had some sister knocked on the door of another house right next to where where the father of the child was, dropped the child off and ran, and come to find out that the kid was the son of the brother that lived next door. And then he had a monkey backpack, which was another stereotype slap in the face. So, and then they contacted him and he said he couldn't believe that she did that. And that to me is an example of you got to really check for where women's minds are at when you get involved with women. You got to really know where a woman's mind is at, because if you don't, you're going to pay a hell of a price when things go wrong in a relationship and now you pick the wrong woman. A lot of times men, we get caught up in vision, but with that vision of how the woman looks, we better get caught up in where their minds are so that we make proper decisions in the relationships or people that we bring into our lives. But someone said, Brother Doug in the chat room says that I should bring Rashida on and have sort of a little debate with her. I might consider it. You know, I'm not trying to bash the sister by any means. That's why I told her to keep her activism up. And guess what? She's dating a black guy. That's her thing. I just basically said that because she basically brought it up to my attention and to other brothers on the panel that we should be with darker skinned black women. Why are you with it? I had already explained my situation, what the circumstance was, right? So
what's worse? What's worse? Dark skin colorism or black people being colorist against darker skinned black people being colorist and hateful against light skinned black folks? Like, you see what I mean? Like, when you even drill down into that, the fuckery is even more like we reverberates in and of itself. It just exposes to you how dumb of an issue that is when there's way bigger issues. But go ahead, my bad.
I was just gonna say we don't have. I think I'm gonna bring some folks onto the panel, and this is getting to be a nice discussion here. This is my thing. I believe that black people, we're in a lot of pain, a lot of hurt. My mother is very fair skinned like yourself, brother. I'm a little fair skinned myself. I'm kind of browned. I kind of tanned a little bit over the years, but you know, parts of my skin, you know, is kind of fair here and there. But my mom's very fair, and to be very fair about things, darker skinned black people in our society are treated different than lighter skinned black folks. And darker skinned black folks have treated lighter skinned black folks very unfairly. My mother was picked on when she was in school because she was light skinned. So what I'm basically saying is it's cyclical. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. We do it to each other. We don't like darker skinned black folks. Darker skinned black folks don't like lighter skin. Lighter skin may have some problems against darker skin because we're fighting against each other. And then you got brown skinned people in the middle. And I said on the show, you know, if you're brown, stick around. If you're black, get back. If you're light, you're all right. These are some of the stereotypes and some of the ideologies that has been permeating in our brains as a society, as black people. And it is something that we have not healed from. It is something that's still affecting us to this very day. And if we can't get over these issues of colorism, and now we got it to a point where is the blame for colorism, does it come from black men? And my thing is like, well, first of all, the origins of colorism has its place in the slave plantation, you know, as I explained. So we've been it's all designed to divide and conquer us. And we're doing the Ku Klux Klan and all these hate groups, man, they don't have to do anything against us because all they got to do is sit back and watch us do it to ourselves. If we cannot get ourselves through this colorism issue, and stop blaming each other and say, this is what the situation is. Let's stop doing it. Judge each other based on how we treat each other. Stop treating each other unfairly. I understand Rashida says that lighter skinned Black people get different privilege than darker skin. I have to admit, brother, that I have seen that throughout the years, but that is how they want to divide us. Treat someone else different from the other person. Make that up, prop the other person up and make you feel bad and then pit you against each other. If we can stop that tribalism, we can go very far in business, in work, in life, in family, in our aspirations and our goals. We can. If we don't stop this kind of stuff, we're going to be doomed in gloom. What do you got to say, brothers? Lions Den or Brother AM1?
Lions Den, you there?
I think, you know what I think's happening, brother, because he doesn't normally cut out on me. I think there's something technical going on.
Oh, okay.
Causing him. But what do you got to say, brother? What are your thoughts?
No, man, it's like a lot of that. It's all very true. A lot of different, again, for me, it's let's step back and really not get distracted with pawns on the table, on the chessboard. Let's really focus, step back and, you know, let the time, take our time to check out our moves and let's be 10 steps ahead. Let's understand what's been done. There's people with generational wealth, way many decades, centuries ahead of us that have the time and bandwidth to be able to understand social engineering and psychology. So we have to understand how things are being played against us. We are definitely feeding into their hands. They've fed our people so many different mind parasites and psychological operations to the point where we just police ourselves. When we have men saying, I ain't nothing but a thug nigga, I mean, it's damn near game over. When we got chicks that's trying to really big up slut culture and thotty shit, and I've legitimately heard women here in the Bay Area, multiple degrees, never been on some street hood shit, say Cardi B touches her inner ratchet. I'm like, what does that even mean? What does ratchet even mean? And again, that's why I was trying to tap in. I'm gonna do a video that's a challenge to all the Black YouTubers I'm in contact with to do a video tacking onto my series, what is ratchet? So let's talk about what that is. Let's pin that down. And then beyond that, what is the benefit or detriment of the concept of being ratchet to our own people? Black women saying,
oh, Sonia, I hate to cut you off, brother. Sonia C's asked a very good question in the chat room. In the chat room, she says, how do we gain back control of our image?
Oh, it's media. It's, first of all, disconnecting from non-Black owned mainstream media, which is, I mean, it's easy for me, but way easier said than done, because holy shit, come between Black folks in entertainment and they will come at you with pitchforks and torches. It will be a lynch mob, because for an impoverished people living vicariously through famous people by way of entertainment, that's Black folks' God. That's Black folks' parents. The OGs ain't kicking down game. Well, you don't want to listen to the OGs because you want to let Migos and these little boys out here be your daddy. To dudes my age and probably your age, tapping in with these dudes, like, I'm trying to be about the culture. I'm trying to be like them. I know dudes that's my age that just went and got grills, just got face tattoos. I'm growing my locks so I can be like these dudes. And this is the culture. This is Black culture. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, whoa, but then the OGs ain't kicking no game down. There's a blurred line between who's the OGs or whatever. We have to disconnect from non-Black owned mainstream media and as much as possible tap into truly wholly owned Black media sources. Now, that's going to be far and few in between. And I'm not talking about Oprah. I'm not talking about Tyler Perry. Nothing propped up by or in with close ties to white owned outlets that we know potentially are, you know, got their hands up their asses. They puppets. You know what I mean? So that's me trying to actually build it. All street looks. That's the whole point. Streetwear, events, media, trying to come up out of Oakland, that revolutionary spirit, Silicon Valley, trying to be that. If you look at the content that I posted on my channel, and it's still ramping that channel up. I do more shit boots on the ground here in Oakland than I do online. I do more work on Facebook, Instagram, trying to really ramp up this YouTube thing. Shout out to O'Shea. He was really a big motivator in it. Cynthia G, believe it or not, was a big motivator in the sense that I was like, she's over here. That barbecue Becky shit popped off, and she quoted information from the Daily Mail that was false, even though she talks about accountability. And I peeped game on it because I had inside scoop shit on that. You guys can see it on my channel, on my All Street Looks channel. Look at the piece that I did. So I went there, filmed it, did some interviews, put the whole piece together because I'm a video editor. I'm a creative consultant, media producer. I'm a videographer, editor, motion graphic, animator, graphic designer. I do all these things, event producer. It's a lot, but it's all really the same shit. So it seems even long-winded and stressful for me to say it. And it's not until I sit back and say it that I'm like, damn, it's a lot of shit. But it's just my natural flow. It's just me. I'm a big kid playing with toys. You know, people think I'm hella serious. I'm really toys. I'm a big dork about this shit, having fun. But I'm fucking serious about my people. I'm serious about not struggling. Most people I've ever known have been poor and struggling, including myself, even still to this day. And I'm trying to fix that. So I'm more concerned with not struggling than all the extra bullshit, the popularity, the coupling up, all that. We gotta disconnect from their media so we can really rock with and build communication lines for our people. This YouTube thing, very interesting. Instagram TV, Facebook, all these free platforms that this tech shit has got us out here doing, it's a slippery slope. That's why they gotta bombard us with more Cardi B ratchet bullshit. Cynthia G should dedicate her whole channel to shutting down the ratchet bullshit and tapping other Black women versus trying to come at Black men. You see what I'm saying? That would be way more impactful. But Black men should be the leaders in the community. Well, Black men are telling you, hey, sis, go tap your other ratchet ass chicks. I know she does a little bit, but that should be 90% of your content. Us men need to go huddle with the young Black dudes and be like, hey, bruh, all this ratchet thuggery bullshit, you dragging us all down. You're dead weight. You either gotta go, you just get down or lay down. You know, to use that phrase, you gotta come get down with us and be about some real shit, or maybe you gotta go. Everybody ain't gonna make it. If you in a war and your troops start turning at you and it's friendly fire, what you gonna do? It's mental poison, man. They have been poisoned, psychological. They've been turned into zombies, and the zombies don't care. They just bite anybody. You feel me? So we gotta unplug from the bullshit. Sonia, where you at? You're talking about the family thing, the family. I just illustrated to you how if we don't have resources on an individual level before trying to couple with anybody, if you don't have a resource in making yourself a resource before worrying about coupling, it's a slippery slope. It's a dangerous game. You're gonna breed more struggle. It's gonna be hard for you to level up. I'm 40 years old. I have no kids. I have no desire to have kids. I'm in a position now where I can hire younger Black folks, groom them up, educate them on the things I'm doing. I'm about to start doing a lot more lecture, speaking engagements, just putting people up on game with what I'm doing. All self-taught without creating a debt. Go ahead.
AM1, everybody out there, you're listening to AM1. Information is power. AM1, I heard you in one of your videos say that the studio that you have in Oakland, that's your second business venture that you got going on. I know you got your hands in many multi type of investments, but is that the second business that you have the studio?
Well, this is the thing. So it's kind of a dual situation. So okay. What it is this: I do creative consulting under the brand AM1 Creative Consulting. This is work I do for nonprofits, corporations, construction companies, just different businesses all the way around. So a lot of what I'm doing over there is just my animation work, my video work, just kind of some of it's drab, boring type stuff. We need graphics. We need a booklet for a convention or, that sort of thing. Cool. Pays well. Or we need an animated explainer video to explain this educational pathway for a nonprofit or for a college. City College of San Francisco did some really cool stuff for them. So there's that, AM1 Creative Consulting. And then there is All Street Looks, All Goods and Services, 2 separate businesses that I'm building at the same time. Both of those businesses are me creating media content. And obviously the other one is meant to be customer facing, culturally oriented facing, is Black media. So one hand shakes the other hand in a lot of cases. Some of my client work I'm able to use over on the All Street Looks element as well. So it's kind of two things at once. Now, those doing business in that way, it's all remote. I don't need a brick and mortar necessarily to sell merchandise. You know, you can sell online. Plus, I do events. So it's kind of multifaceted, but it's two different things. AM1 Creative Consulting, all street looks. Two separate but yet interconnected sort of things. So me having the boutique space here is just an extension of all of it, because now I have a design studio to physically work out of versus me working from home. And I actually have a boutique storefront for me to sell the merchandise. But of course, being that I do it all, I can now have a venue space to do pop-ups. We have the event here tomorrow. We got some other events booked out. We're going to do some blockchain type stuff. We're going to do some poetry readings, some book signings. What else? We got a bunch of things coming up into the holiday season. It's beautiful, man. Like, I'm having a blast. I'm a big kid playing with toys. I'm serious about building, but I'm serious about being creative and having fun with it, man. Like, creativity is next to godliness, and let's be that. Let's, you know, we're gonna talk about being kings and queens. Let's build an empire and really be that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my business venture, so to speak.
Okay.
And
let me ask you something, brother. Let me ask you this question. The project or the event that you have tomorrow, I heard you say poetry reading and various things. What exactly is this event? If you haven't already, if that's what you were talking about, then my bad, brother. But what exactly, if you don't mind revealing to us, what exactly is the event Saturday evening going to be about?
Oh, hold on one second. Let me finish this comment, because patience is a virtue. See, that's the thing. When people stay in their emotions, AM1, you got to have a little AM1 to carry on those very intelligent genes. Patience is a virtue. My mother is from the projects of Louisiana. She moved out to Oakland, California when she was about 16. She has her first son at 20. She has her second son, myself, at 24. No legacy wealth and resources being handed down from my grandmother, who had 5 other kids in the projects in Louisiana. That means no home ownership to be handed down. Well, actually, she did have a house, but in 2008, with that fuckery, they ended up losing that house. Mom lost her house that she had in 2008 too. Same as my older brother. My people are struggling. There's no fallback plan. There's none of that. So I'm cognizant and understanding of this position in these kind of predicaments. But yet people will still tell me I should have a little AM1 running around. You see how the idea of people being in their feelings about how they feel about, oh, that would be cute and that would be so nice, versus the reality of me saying, hey, why would I breed more struggle that would make my life more difficult? So then I would have less impact to be as effective at actually impacting my people. I'm creating jobs and resources here for people, making myself into a resource that aggregates more resources. Why would I backtrack that and throw that all off for me just trying to play the dice roll of carrying on my genetics? For all I know, the little AM1 could be a fucking asshole. He might turn into one of these thug little dudes too. You know why? Because mainstream media, we don't control it. He might fall into the wayside just like these other lost boys out here. Let's get out of our feelings and let's get serious about this. Come on, people.
Let me say this, brother. I always believe that I don't think everybody is meant to have children. I think if you feel the urge to have a family and it's a calling, you feel that urge and you feel the desire and you are responsible as a man to take care of your family and raise your kids, then once you have a clear understanding of that for yourself, then go ahead and endeavor in that area. But I think that if you don't really want kids, there's no sense of having kids, because I bring a child into the world that you really are not fit for or emotionally attached to wanting to take care of. So I feel like when you have children, we've got to give more thought. We have too often we have kids being born because somebody was having a good time one night, and then the child comes into the world and the guy didn't really want the child. And so I feel that if you don't feel that you're ready to have kids, what you say today, you might have a different opinion. didn't even have my first daughter until I was well into my late 30s. And I was married at that time. So I'm actually glad that I didn't start having any kids in my 20s and early 30s, because when you have kids too early like that as a man, it really can it could be a problem, especially if you're having unwanted pregnancies or teenage pregnancies. And I remember in the 80s when I was coming up as a teenager, there were a lot of teenage pregnancy issues going on in this country. And I grew up with people who had kids and teenagers. I'm telling you, it did change the course of their life. So we got to make those
facts.
I believe that.
Where's Ashley W? Let's go get Ashley W right now. Perfect walking, talking, living example of how having a child too soon will totally stifle the efforts and possibilities and opportunities in your life. I can't wait to do a live with her because she keeps it so real.
But I still believe, though, that you should not engage in bringing kids into the world unless you're mentally, spiritually ready to do that. And not
just some willy-nilly shit. See, that's the thing. People are being taught. There's people in the chat right now still, regardless of all of the gems and pure logic I just dropped, people are still saying, but how do you live on? But how do you look? The bottom line is this. If you are black and you're struggling, do you enjoy struggling? Probably not. So why would you breed more struggle? People are talking about who you're going to pass that on to. I don't want to pass on more struggle. So as long as I'm struggling, I don't want to breed more struggle because I love myself. And by extension, I would love the little clone version of me. So if I have times where I'm thinking, damn, how am I going to pay my rent? I'm thinking that as a man myself. Why in the fuck would I put myself in a situation where I'm thinking, damn, how am I going to pay my rent for myself and for little AM1 now too? Come on, it makes no sense. I would say this. If we're getting serious, you shouldn't even be thinking remotely about having a child unless you own outright a house and maybe a business. Somebody like me, I'm so extreme, I wouldn't even consider having a child unless I have multiple real estate holdings, business and residential, and multiple businesses and intellectual properties. That's the only way I would even feel close to safe insulating myself against the potential collapse of the dollar, whatever these fucks in government, Trump and all these fools might try to pull, these international bankers. Like, it's about your knowledge base. If you're not understanding what's going on in this world, you'll think, oh, sure, I'm popping another baby out and it's cool and black love. I'm like, stop it, man. If you're asking questions like, but you got to, these are simple thinking, limited spectrum questions.
I got a sister in the Facebook chat room by the name of Danielle Williams. I went to college with her, and she said that black people, we need to move on from caring about how the media views us. We will never change their narrative they have created for us, their narrative they have created for us. We need to focus on building wealth, building wealth, police and justice, and mental health. So that's her contribution tonight, is that we need to focus on the things that are most affecting us. And it's funny that you said about mental health, because tomorrow I'm going to have a brother on sometime during the day. I'm going to do a live stream with a brother who works in mental health. I work in mental health. So we're going to address black mental health, how mental health is very crucial to black America. And it's something that we got to stop being in denial of, because it's something that really is impacting us. So she's saying that we need to focus on that which is tangible, building our wealth. Police brutality is one that she speaks upon, and not so much worrying about the media. Now, I think that we can chew gum and we can ride a bike at the same time. I think, although we should not let the mass media control, let me just put it this way, and I might be in disagreement with you, Sister Williams, Danielle. I think that we should be concerned about how the mass media portrays us from this point of view. We should not allow them to control the narrative. So even if the media is going to portray us in a negative way, we as black people have to define our own narrative and who we are for ourselves. And we have to fight against anyone that tries to decimate who we are and what our character is. So, for example, when you look at Jewish people, you can't get on TV and talk about Jewish people in a negative way. You can't use racial slurs towards them. You can't do certain stuff. You know why? Because collectively they come together. They control certain media outlets, and they will put holy pressure on you to get you removed. Black people, every time someone treats us wrong or talks about us wrong on mass media, what do they say? Oh, I was just making a joke. Oh, I didn't mean to say that, you know. And then what do? We just kind of talk about it and we move about our way. We don't give them the same holy hell. How you hurt people is you hurt them in the pocketbook. You hurt them in the bottom line. You hurt them. You let your economic power hurt them, which is why we need economic wealth. Jewish people can hurt people who slander them because they have economic wealth and they are collectively on one tribe, not split by different tribes. They're on one tribe. They're on tribe Jewish. We for Jewish people. Black people, we want to split ourselves and being into this whole light skin and dark skin thing versus pro-black versus conservative thing versus I'm Christian, you're Muslim versus I don't like him because you know he's got I don't
all distractions and sidebar issues.
All goddamn distraction. We're caught up in the Kanye West because he went and talked to one Donald Trump. So
you know what it is? Information man. Check it out. A lot of what's going on is this. And let's keep it super duper 100 a buck. Oh, and this goes for some of the people in the chat right now, with all due respect and to address what you were just saying. What's going on with a lot of black folks is this. A lot of black folks are pacified and placated and don't want to have to actually do anything harder than what they're doing currently right now. They don't want to have to sacrifice some of their kicking it, cuddling, and entertainment time to actually take out time to learn more skills and trades, to be of more resource to themselves and to their people. So it's much easier to get up in arms about Kanye West or whatever other distractionary type of thing, racial thing and all that. Like, that's what it is. A lot of black folks want excuses to just be where they're at right now, and will find ways to hate on people trying to actually elevate their position, because what's happening is you're becoming a mirror in their face and saying, damn, folks are out here trying to get it and I'm not trying to get it. So let me find other ways to not pay attention to people who are out here trying to get it, and let me make arguments and sidebar statements and focus on those kind of things, because damn, it's going to make me have to actually drill down and focus on maybe doing something myself. Somebody in the chat said, I may be poor, but I'm educating my children and all that. I'm like, whoa, that's an interesting sort of concept. So you're good. Your children are your jewels and all that. Okay, great. What are all of them doing to collectively elevate our people? Like, I don't know, man. Or maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm too hardcore about it, but I'm not seeing collectively our position change. And I think of it like this. I love myself. I love my family, meaning my blood family I grew up with. They don't even all have it all figured out right. I could have this discussion with some of my brothers in the room, and they'd be like, oh, here he goes with all that. They don't get it either. So it's all excuses. Like, there's people who'd rather just go work for these white folks, these corporations, do the easy stuff. Oh, I'm a family man. I'm just taking care of my family. What are you doing? Oh, just raising these kids. Okay, what else are you doing? Just raising these kids, you know. Cool, that's great. I applaud that. But what else? Because 20 years out from now, we're standing on a rug. They're pulling it out from under us real slow. It's like Inception, how they're falling in slow-mo, that one whole scene. That's what's happening right now. While we're falling in slow-mo, buildings are going up in largely black, historically black areas. Buildings are going up. The numbers are declining. To take a page out of Tone and Yvette's book, white wealth is calcifying with the rich folks. Black folks are staying dusty. We don't control our own media. People are worried about sidebar issues. Everybody likes the excuses. Oh, I just want to have fun. I want to couple up. Are we getting serious, people? Are we getting serious, people? Come on. Whose side are you on? Are you on the side of us collectively coming up like how the Jews are doing? They're like, you ain't gonna talk bad about us. Matter of fact, we fucking own the studios and the networks. You definitely ain't gonna talk bad about me. Go look at allstreetlooks.com. I guarantee you, you ain't gonna hear nothing bad about no black folks over there, because I'm the one who fucking made it. He who pays the piper calls the tune. I pay for it. I build it with my own time. You're gonna hear the messages I edit and create for you. You see what's going on here? Man, look. You want to make up all these excuses about, well, you want to carry on your genes. Actually, I don't want to carry on my genes if my people are struggling and wondering how they're going to live. I'd rather die than, like, if I got a life sentence right now and I know my life is over and I'm not never getting out, you might as well kill me then. I'm not living in struggle. I'd rather, die on my feet than live on my knees. However way you could, man, look. Peace king, peace queen, bruh. Are we building empires? Are we just, I got, kids and I'm working, I'm doing this. Okay, what else? Because if they fire you, then what? Now you guys are fucking struggling. They're struggling too. Stop it. We need infrastructure. We need real resources. The emotional shit is going to get us genocided up out of here.
Okay. Okay, brother. Okay. Let me see right now. Lions Den, are you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Can you give a little love? I know it's late for you back there. As we get to the conclusion of the program, like, can you give a little love in the chat room?
Yeah. I got Chief Holiday, Sonya Steves, AM1, Kim Kirby, the real Aaron Collins, Patience is a Virtue. I have let's see, Brother the Nubian, that guy from Texas. So, I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down. Doug, G Holiday, Man of Tomorrow's in the building. Brother the Newbie's in the building.
I'll tell you, brother, Man of Tomorrow. Welcome.
Yes, sir. And we'll go way back. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to scroll back. Brother Malik's in the building.
All right, to Brother Malik.
That's right. And Richard Victor Dixon. We got him in the studio, in the building. Kofi O'Noon, couple of AFMA Productions in the building. And Mr. Redskin 562's in the building. That's it for now, info.
Let me go ahead and play this other thing that's very important, because people are watching this and we want to make sure that we get support. Make sure, if you can, well, this will tell you what you need to know.
This is Information Man. I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank everyone in the chat room. I want to thank everyone that's listening to the program, watching the program, but may not be in the chat room. I want to say to you, without your support, I can't do what it is that I do. And without us working together, we can't do what it is that we're doing right now. So I want to thank you for that support. I would like to say to everyone out there, if you have not subscribed to the program, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and most importantly, hit the likes. And if you have social media, share the video if you like the video in your own social media so that we can support the show. I do the same thing with other people's shows. I always put what they're doing in my social media. So thank you, everybody. And once again, we do what we do. This is the Information Man. Everybody out there, you're listening to AM1, creative consultant, straight out of the town, baby. Oaktown, the Bay Area, all street looks. Make sure, come on now, make sure you subscribe to his channel, support the brother, because this is town business. AM1, creative consultant.
Information is power. Information is power.
Back on here, brother. Let me just say this. We have said a mouthful tonight. We touched on a few issues. I'm definitely going to have you come back, touch on some other issues. I am going to be inviting you to panels, future panels that I'm going to have on here. Brother, it's been great having you on here tonight because we touched on a few issues. I like what you're doing. I got to get out there and visit your studio, hang out with you, see what it is that you do so that I can, you know what I really want to do, brother? If you would ever allow me to do this, I would actually love, because I know you into the whole video editing, I would love to be able to bring my cameras out and actually film what you actually do on your day at work, or what you do in your creative process, or what you do at some of your events, and actually be able to put that out to the public on my channel or any kind of platform, brother, to be able to show people what you're doing and promote your business. You know, now that I know that you're a business brother, for 100% that I'm going to use these airways to promote your business. Okay, so that's what I need to do. I need to get out there and do a close and personal interview with you live with camera. And put me some smooth editing on that to kind of watch what you do in your environment, brother. What do you think about that?
Man, I appreciate I mean, it's just an honor to be here, period. Just how I'm being embraced by like YouTube, Negro Manosphere, all of that. This is just all amazing for me. The past few months of kind of ramping up with you brothers. But I mean, on the level of you coming out here, you already know, definitely welcome. Come check out the space. And then on the media tip, as far as filming, video editing, that'd be dope. Definitely do a media piece on a media guy. I love it.
Yeah, because I've been telling people on this channel that I really want to start taking cameras or going out into the community and doing more stuff where I'm actually interacting with people and interviewing them. You know what I really should have did, brother? If I had really been thinking with my little brain up here, I should have just went out to Oakland when you had some time. I should have did this whole interview live in your studio. I should have brought my equipment and just did it right live there. You know what I'm saying? And so that we could show people the studio, you know, and show them the products that you got. But we could do something like that anyway, brother. I'm going to come out there and do something like that with you, brother, with your permission and your participation.
You're absolutely more than welcome, brother. And then, yeah, I got sidetracked with one of the comments, but tomorrow, Saturday, October 20th, all studios, 412 13th Street, Oakland, California. We're showcasing what we're calling the Beat Boutique. So what we're doing is having some local producers come and play a series of beats in musical productions they've built. And then while at the same time, it's a lyric workshop as well. So we're going to have some writers, some MCs, some singers, some vocalists right on the spot live while they play beats for like a 30-minute block. They write. So they got to write and try to get their verses down real quick. And then we spend the next half hour or however long letting people drop their verses, and then we film it. We're going to make media content out of that. That's going to feature on All Street Looks. I'll drop a little on the AM1 channel. So I know you asked me about that, and I didn't want to. I appreciate you asking me that, so I wanted to touch on that. So Beat Boutique tomorrow here, all studios, 412 13th Street, Oakland, California. Mr. Information Man Show. You are absolutely more than welcome anytime to come through. Come check it out. If not tomorrow, obviously, anytime. Come down, bring your cameras. I'll show you my setup. I'll show you how I get down. I'm always ready to rock on the media work. Again, I'm a big kid playing with toys, man. I appreciate you.
What I'm going to do is I will, of course, contact you privately. We'll talk about it, set up a time that works for you. And I'm going to come on down and hang out with you and see exactly, you know, what you're doing. Try to get that on camera and promote that, brother. Definitely. Let me just say to everybody in the chat room, I know it's late for some folks across the country. Those of you that were able to make it tonight, thank you. It's a Friday night. I know there's a lot of competition on YouTube. There's a lot of other streams going on, but thank you for being here. Let me say this. Definitely share this in your social media, as I was saying earlier. I'm sure a lot of folks who didn't catch this tonight will be catching this on the replay. This was a great interview with this brother. I had to get him on here. Lions Den, brother, I know you got to get some rest. I know you got to deal with some health issues, brother. I want you to rest up, take care of yourself, brother, so we can get back on and do some of the other things that we do. Everybody out there, Doug, to brother Dubian, Gab Talk Media, Real Aaron Collins, Sonia C's, so many folks that out there that I'm not mentioning right now, but all of you that do support the program, thank you for supporting us. Like I said, we're going to just kind of keep trying to make it better and better. We're going to try to keep bringing more and more dynamic guests on, like Brother AM1. We're going to bring him back. I'm actually going to try to do something where I'm going to see if I can create a panel with some of the folks I've had on here and try to get them all on here together and do like a super panel of people who have all these various dynamic gifts, okay, that they've been blessed with. So with that said, I'm going to right now, Brother AM1, do you have any last words? Because then at the end of every program, I always put the thumbnail back on, play a little bit of music, let everybody see that beautiful thumbnail again. Do you have any last words for the good people out here as I put this thumbnail back up, brother?
Man, I just want to say I appreciate you, Lions Den. Shout out to you, good brother. Everybody in the chat rocking with us on a Friday night. There's definitely a lot of competition. And take my words, take my passion, and understand everything is about me truly caring about my people. You guys are a reflection of me. I want a better world. I just want to make myself a resource. I'm trying to operate in more of a selfless way and just have more, you know, put out good energy into the universe. It's absolutely coming back at me tenfold. So nobody can tell me what I'm doing ain't working. I'm creating better opportunities for other folks. I'm webbing out. Cats on YouTube with vastly more followers than me, tapped in with me. Apparently people are liking what I'm saying. I know I'll ruffle some feathers getting into some of the stuff with our people and as it pertains to emotional type stuff. But it is really me just saying I'm trying to get serious. And you know that phrase, be the change I want to see in the world. I'm really trying to be about that life, building and, you know, creating a revolution for our people and changing the game. Let's tear it down and rebuild it back better. Let's do some things that are going to really elevate our people. Let's not get genocided out of here. Let's be creative. All heart, all hustle. That's what it's going to take to get out of this. Go check out all Street Looks on all social media. Check out my channel, my second channel over here. Go sub to AM1. Really trying to ramp that up and just do more of the same, man. More events, more Black business, more Black media. We really need to own and control our narrative, commoditize our culture. And again, Information Man, I appreciate you, Lions Den. I appreciate you, everybody in the chat. Come through whenever you can, good brother. I appreciate you big time.
Thank you, brother. Everybody, check out AM1's channel, listen to his content, support the brother. Those of you in the chat room or those of you that are listening out there, if you live anywhere in the Bay Area, and those of you out there on Facebook, go check out AM1. Check out his check this brother out. Check him out. Brother AM1, are there any, and I probably may need to put that in the description. Do you have any social media, other social medias that you're on? Your Twitter, your Instagram? Can we find you on Instagram as well?
Absolutely. I do most of my work there because, again, I'm a graphic designer, media content producer. So they, even the playing field, give you a minute to drop a commercial. You think I ain't taking advantage of that? Come on now. IG, go at All Street Looks on all social media. And on Facebook, it's All Goods and Services. So holler at me. IG, best way to get at me. Anybody here, you can follow me on IG. Hit me in my DM, just like I'm talking right now to Information Man. I'll holler at you. I'm just a regular ass dude out here trying to get it in. I get in with my folks every damn day.
All right, brother. I hear you. I hear you, brother. Thank you for being with us. And folks, you know how we do it. We're going to put that music, closing music. That was Brother AM1. But before I have to do something for the brother. Let's give that brother a big clap for coming out tonight and being with us.
Wait a minute.
Because this is very important what this brother has done. Let's give this brother a big clap.
Oakland, California, it's the city of light. Oakland, California, it's the city of light. Oakland, California, it's the city of light.
Yes, Oakland, California is the city of light. Folks, you've been listening to Information Man. My man Lions Den is on with AM1. Definitely check the brother out. Give that brother some love. You know the score. Here comes the music. Everybody in the chat room, thank you for coming out tonight and supporting us wherever you are in the world. Yeah.
Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, info. Wait a minute. It's the info man and the lion den. 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 It's the info man, yup. It's the lion den, yup. You can't fuck with us, nope. So stop trying then. It's the info man, yup. It's the lion den, yup. You can't fuck with us, nope. So stop trying then. Still heavyweight, so they try to infiltrate with hate. Knock my liver off my plate, but we do not take the bait. Don't hesitate when it's time to do it to it. We still do they bullshit like our steering fluid. Wait a minute, lions den. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, lions den. Wait a minute. It's the info man and the lions den. 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 Raise your ass up, rise your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion or info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion or info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion or info team. Raise your ass up, rise your slumber. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with lion or info. The info. It's the mouth, the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the mouth, the info show. It's the info. It's the mouth, the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the mouth, the info show. It's the info. It's the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the mouth, the info show. It's the info. We got the info. Whatever you want to know, come join the mouth, the info show. It's the info man. You can call him information info man. Keeping knowledge all over this nation. Win, lose, or draw. You can bring your hate team, but if you want to win, please don't bring your debate team. We talk to Japanese shogun, Aztecs, Old Mexican, African, Dogon.
You know, I can't end the show without my last little piece to the show. You guys know what I always like to do. You know what I like to do. Let me leave everybody with that last statement. You know what it is. Here it goes.